We talking King of Kon. I don't know. I really wasn't prepared for my cold open, but it's on Comic Book Cannon. Yeah, man. I was that was a brain fart. I was out there. It was out there. Was not prepared. Was rushing around talking to Joe, good friend, partner in crime, and co-host. Because he just got back from King of Kon. And we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss news. We're going to have props or flops. We're going to have fresh from the comic shop. We got so much to do, so much to talk about. And I guess we do have plenty of time. But again, let me introduce you to that person I was just mentioning, Joseph. Joseph, how are you, buddy? Oh, my God. Joe, wake up. Joe, wake up. Wake up, bud. Come on. We got a show to do.
Is it canon time?
It is canon time. I just made that up off the top of my head.
I thought it was napping time.
No, dude. Well,
so tired from King Kon this
the way you went at it. I mean, come on. So, yeah. How are you physically? We're gonna get into a review of the convention. We're gonna talk about all of that. It's gonna be fun. And for those of you that may have missed it, you'll catch up through Joe. You'll live it through Joe. But real quick, in summary, how are you doing?
Well, honestly, I'm let down by what might go down as the worst cold open in comic book canon.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know what I was doing right there. Yeah.
Jeff, it's okay. I forgive you. Sometimes we make mistakes, and you got to learn how to forgive people. Physically, I am exhausted. I am sore from head to toe. I am sleep deprived. I just ate, and I'm hungry and thirsty again. And just all around, like, I feel like crap, but in the best of ways, because that is the toll that
Oh man, is it my connection?
Boxes. Oh,
okay.
What just happened?
Is it my connection? And maybe my connection that is, I don't know. You were a little slow there. I don't know. But you know what? You look good, right?
Yeah, you just
that's all that matters
for a second, but I think we're good.
Y'all can let us know in the comments how things are doing with our broadcast quality here. If we're having lagging issues or anything weird, we would appreciate that greatly. All right, we're gonna get into the news. Joe, you have some news, so let's just start right off the bat with what you got. Then we'll get into some other news as well. So, Joseph,
yeah, a little bit of unfortunate news. Are we going with that first?
Yeah.
Rest in peace to just an absolute legend of golden age, and especially, early silver 1950s, late 50s silver age, co-creator of Green Lantern, artist on his not only appearances in DC Showcase, but also the beginning of the Green Lantern Silver Age run. Hal Jordan. I should say Hal Jordan Green Lantern. The Green Lantern that we really think of when we think of Green Lantern, not the Golden Age. But nonetheless, a great artist. Not only that, but just such a, basically a community member. This guy was at age 93 a few months ago doing signings at Terrificon. Like, that's absolutely amazing. The fact that he still went out there and met with the people in the community, and my buddy Alex, collecting dude, who's in the chat, he just said Flash, co-creator of Flash, Barry Allen as well. I didn't know that, but he got to meet Joe Giella and recently got some signatures from him on some Hal Jordan books, which he is a huge Green Lantern fan, and he just always had nice things to say about Joe Giella. I never met him myself, but we definitely lost not only a legend, but a staple of the comic book community, and a nice guy all around.
Yes, rest in peace for sure. I was reading up on him earlier today, and I didn't realize he I guess he started his career at the age of 17. Let me bring myself in. That'd be cool. Yeah. He started his career at the age of 17, smaller publisher, but then made his way up to getting an interview with Timely, begging Stan Lee to, hey, I can ink. I'm great, whatever, trying to get anything from him. He's like, all right. I'll give you a chance. Take home these these pages and ink them. He took them back with the train. He lost them on the train. Stanley gives him some pages. He loses them. And then, as you know, he's telling Stanley the story. Stanley is pissed, obviously. But the artist, I cannot remember his name, but kudos to this artist, redrew all of those pages again for him to be able to ink. And that launched his career right there. So yeah, rest in peace there. A legend, absolute legend. And again, made his mark on the Silver Age. So, yeah. Okay, but moving on. Again, there's no easy segue from that, but we do have some more news that we are going to look into, Joseph. It's not all about King Kon, right?
It's not. We will certainly get to plenty of King Kon content if that's what you're here for, but we got to talk the news first.
Yes, as seen from this set photo right here, we got Lady Gaga in full Harley costume. This is the look that we're getting from the first look that we're getting of her as Harley Quinn. It's probable that Lady Gaga will also play Dr. Harleen Quinzel, aka Arthur Fleck's psychiatrist in Arkham Asylum, aka the Joker. So I mean, this is a basically a pretty realistic view, a la Chris Nolan's Dark Knight, etc. This is what the Joker is basically kind of taking all away the superhero elements, kind of detailing and exploring psychological elements in these characters that we love.
Yeah.
Definitely a different take. I'm not mad at this. This is getting a lot of hate online. Joe, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I very much liked the first Joker movie. I thought it was an amazing movie. I get where people were like, "Oh, you can't have Joker without Batman," and I don't necessarily agree, but I also understand and respect that point of view, and it was definitely a different take on things. I personally, like I said, loved the first movie. Fun fact: highest grossing comic book movie of all time.
Crazy.
Because it had such a low budget.
Yeah,
it made $1 billion. Also, first and only rated R movie to ever make $1 billion. Like that is a big deal. That movie got a lot of play. Anyway, as far as Lady Gaga herself, I'm not super into her, but I can recognize that she's an immensely talented human being, and I have seen her in a couple things. Her music, it's not my style of music, but I appreciate it as being well written, original, and very, what's the word? Unique. And that's her in general. As far as her acting chops, I think she's a solid actor. And I think the Margot Robbie version is a little played out at this point. It's been a while that we've gotten her, and she did great. Don't get me wrong, but I'm totally down for a little change of scenery there.
Yeah, listen, I'm not mad at this. I enjoyed the Joker movie. I do not need to watch it again, though. It was really dark and really kind of disturbing. But I'm looking forward to the sequel to see them building the story off of what they had. Lady Gaga is legit. She's the real deal. I'm going to name drop. Oh, I've worked with her before, and she is legit. She's extremely talented. Her musical chops she does not get enough credit. She was noodling around on the keyboard in between our takes, and she just blew it. I was blown away. Like just her noodling around and just messing around.
If
her
you
acting in the Bradley Cooper film, outstanding.
Yes. Yeah. And if you ever doubt her musical skills, go back and watch her. I forget her actual name. But if you go Google or YouTube her actual name, you can find footage of her from before she did the whole Lady Gaga persona. And she is up there slamming the keyboard, singing her lungs out. And you can tell she is a musician through and through, whether you like the pop music she makes or not.
Yeah, it may not be your style or something you're into, the type of music you're into, but you have to, she is legit. She co-writes, she does with other artists, but she also writes her own stuff and she also plays her own stuff. So much respect to her. And I'm looking forward to more from this, but we'll have a long time to wait here because it comes out in October of 2024. That was surprising to me. I thought it would be I thought it'd be like early next year, but that is not the case. Okay. Moving on, because we had Shazam coming out last week. I had every intention to see it last week. I have not had time, But it's been out for a week. It had an 80% drop in the theater, by the way. 80% you're looking at 40 for something that's kind of, that's an acceptable drop. My goodness, 80%. But there's been some more drama that's Lady Gaga. She's not bringing the drama. There's been some more drama with Shazam here. According to the Wrap, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, somehow nixed a Shazam cameo in Black Adam, where Justice Society members would have recruited Shazam via the Wrap in trying to shape Black Adam as the new center of the DC universe, a strategy that failed to bolster Black Adam and undercut the once promising Shazam franchise. Johnson may have kneecapped both, painting a portrait of a celebrity who put his own brand before the work. That's never a good thing. And Zachary Levi took to Instagram saying, "The truth will set you free." Basically, all of the copy up top there of the picture is what the Wrap said in the article. Basically, what we just summarized here for you.
Right.
He also went on. Zach Levi also went on Instagram Live, revealing David, the director, David Sandberg, and Peter Safran had an awesome end credit scene with Hawkman and Cyclone, but got sacked last minute. People are slagging on James Gunn, basically blaming James Gunn for pulling it because we had to pivot the Justice Society. I shared that story on Instagram just to end fake rumors. He did not want James Gunn taking the fall for that. Basically, he backed up the Wrap story saying that The Rock had something to do with this. Joe, I'm tired of this DC shit, man. I'm tired of the mess. This is just so fucking messy. And I loved the first Shazam. I do believe you said the same thing. I'm going to see the sequel in the theaters, but I'm tired. I am tired of this mess. Hopefully, this is the end of just washing their hands clean and moving on to really reset and rebuild.
Honestly, I think getting rid of The Rock is what they have to do. You may really like the guy, you may like the character that he played, so on and so forth, but I agree with the people in the comments that saying that dude's ego is way too big for the DC universe. The DC universe can't be focused around one character, especially Black Adam. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. He's a supporting character through and through. He's there sometimes. He's not always there. He's never the center of attention, really, except for, a couple few times. They can't do a universe around him. He needs to be out. That being said, I saw Shazam, unlike fake fans like, other
you saw the sequel. My bad. All right, I have a life. I have things to do. No big deal.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, some people have responsibilities. I just have comic book movies.
I have a mouth to feed, little child.
Right. I have my own mouth to feed. Anyway, I thought it was great. I am not a big Shazam fan or DC fan. I've expressed that many times. I'm much more Marvel based, other than Batman. I liked the first movie. I thought it was fun. I thought this movie was more fun.
That's good to hear.
I thought the first movie was funny. I thought this movie was funnier. I thought the first movie had solid amount of action. I thought this movie had more action and was a little tinge darker, which was nice. Not, it gets a little farther away from being like a kid's movie, but still in the realm of family friendly. I saw it in theaters. I won't see it in theaters again. It wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But I'll probably rewatch it shortly after it comes out on
HBO
Max, which it's coming out early, and that is probably why there's been a dip, right?
Well, they don't usually announce how early it's going to come out, but if they announced it before this weekend, yeah, probably.
They said it's going to only be in theaters for a month. And then it's going right to HBO Max.
I don't know why they would do that. It was also a small budget on this film as well. Dan De La Torre, that's a huge mistake to get rid of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam. They never said they were getting rid of it. They said that they're going to explore opportunities down the road. So it is possible. It is possible. But this, Jim's right, aka Brownsville Comics. Warner did little to promote that. We were talking about this for weeks. It's like, where's the promotion for this film?
Yeah.
We love the first one. We want to see this one succeed. Now you got the lack of marketing. And this drama, it's just like enough is enough. Like, they need to wash their hands clean of the DCEU. They've had a few hits, way more misses, and it really is. It's annoying to us fans. Like, it really is. It's not like we're haters of DC. I lean more Marvel too, but we want all of these films to succeed. And the fact that these two stars are got beef or whatever, and it's just like, come on, everybody.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And especially two characters that are synonymous with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got The Flash coming out. They're definitely going to heavily market that. James Gunn is way behind that movie. Says it's one of the best comic book films that he's ever seen.
Yeah.
You got The Blue Beetle, which hopefully that won't get the Shazam effect where there's no marketing. And then you have Aquaman 2, where there are rumors, and again, take this with a grain of salt, just what we've been reading, that it has not tested well, Aquaman 2. There are rumors that Jason Momoa is done with Aquaman, and he's looking to Lobo. So we'll see. I don't know. Again, I don't think the mess is over with the DCEU still got its claws in everything, now and from the past, but they're going to start tearing away from that DCEU. All right.
Listen, I see every movie, every superhero-related movie, comic-related movie, opening night when it comes out on Thursdays. If my wife wants to see it, I take her date night. If she doesn't, my buddy Alex, aka Collecting Dude in the chat, I go with him and I see every movie. I want every movie to do good. I didn't have high hopes for this Shazam movie, but guess what? I really liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly and can't wait to watch it again in a month or two.
Yeah, I'm going to see it in the theater. I absolutely will. All right, moving on. Finally, last piece of news. We promise. It is, I know there are a ton of you. I guarantee you at least 90% of you were fans of X-Men 96, the X-Men animated series. Joe, where did you put this image, man? You're totally sabotaging the whole show.
Listen, that was you and not me. And
Joe, you're gonna have to entertain. I don't know what the hell's going on, but anyways, can you do a song and dance?
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Also, I just want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
We left out a piece of news that did happen because A, it is new, and B, we do not have very many details on it. That is the Jonathan Majors thing that's going on right now. We're going to talk about that next week once we get
yeah. Let's see how it shapes out, everybody. Everybody's going to conclusions. We'll get to recasting. Let's see how this plays out because there's some conflicting information out there. Yeah, let's not.
I wasn't even going to mention that.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Literally, Paul just said it in the chat. I didn't want to mention it, but I decided to mention it because I knew someone was going to say that in the chat. They were going to say, hey, what about Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, let's not.
We'll talk about it next week once there's more information.
Once the dust settles. But we're going to talk about X-Men 97 right here. That's right. You all love this animated series. I love this animated series. Joe, I'm speaking for you because I know you love this animated series. It was influential in our youth. It was, I love this. The Amazing Spider-Man or the Spider-Man series.
Well, hold on a second. It was my youth.
Don't take that away from me, Joe.
It was your early 30s.
That's not even true. That is not even true. I can name names of people who were probably in their 30s at that time, but I will not do that. That's very mean of you. And you, everybody here, the millions watching right now, an apology, but we'll get to that in a second. So we knew from previous promotional materials that Mr. Sinister will be making an appearance on X-Men 97, but now head writer Bo DeMaio, I love that name, by the way, Bo DeMaio, who has also worked on The Witcher and Moon Knight, has confirmed Mr. Sinister is the main villain in his words. He was speaking at X-Men 60 Uncanny Years event. DeMaio confirms that Sinister will take a leading role in the show as the main villain. He has a British accent. Do you want me to try that?
Yeah, you have to do it.
A very... I'm not going to... No, I can't. A very, very... He literally said, a very... very, very, very favorite character. By the way, it's spelled Favourite. Character mine and many others. Mr. Sinister will rear his ugly head from the past with a pretty foolproof plan to destroy the X-Men once and for all. I'm super psyched. As we also know, Magneto is taking the place of Xavier as the leader of the X-Men, just like the comics. I guess it was in the 90s or 80s. He's got that same costume and everything. So I'm psyched for this. I don't know when the release date is. I don't think Disney Plus has announced a release date, but that I'm psyched. I mean, look at so awesome. So awesome, Mr. Sinister. By the way, John Hamm was in talks to play Mr. Sinister if Fox continued on after the with the New Mutants, but that obviously did not happen because Disney bought Fox.
Which is a massively underrated movie, and that's all I'll say about that.
Yo, I was actually going to follow up. I see every movie in the theater Thursday night. There's 2 that I've missed. One of them is the Fantastic Four disaster.
Yeah, you didn't need to see that.
And then the other is New Mutants. So New Mutants is on Disney Plus now. I got to check that out.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No, not yet.
No joke. I gave that movie like at least an 8.5, maybe even a 9.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll be checking it out. But first is Shazam, by the way. So that there ends the news, Joe. And that ends the news. It was interesting. The drama shit, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. Hopefully we don't hear anything more. We'll have some follow-up on Jonathan Majors next week. Let's hope that's not what it is. That would be a shame. It's a shame. And domestic violence is not acceptable anywhere, no matter who does it. Okay. So let's see how that shakes out, though. And right now, though, you know what I want to do?
Say hi to our friends.
Hello to our friends. Why don't we just go one at a time? No, that'll take too long. But C to the G, Goodbye Comics, by the way. That's a great play on words right there.
I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Goodbye Comics. One of my items for Fresh from the Comic Shop is from Evan himself, Goodbye Comics, that I got at King Kon. And we'll talk about that because it is definitely one of the most interesting things I have ever brought to Fresh from the Comic Shop.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. We got Caleb Leland, a.k.a. Cable Leland, C to the G. Mark Leathercar. It's got to stop. I have declared it's got to stop. Raw Dog Comics. We got 360 in the chat. That's you. Speaking of, y'all better be following 360. It's as easy as clicking on and hitting subscribe. And subscribe to us and like this video for goodness sakes, please. I do not swear right there. You should be proud of me. Josh's Comics. Yeah, man. Sorry. Actually, I'll get to that in a second. I was going to say something. What am I going to say? Who do we got? We got Bond. Paul Bond in the house right there. Raising Elm Comics. Bronzeville Comics, a.k.a. Jim. Dan De La Torre. Couching and Slouching with C. Bizzle. Who else do we got? 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 We got a lot of people here. Heroes Reborn. Heroes Reborn. That's John right there. Glad to see you're back, man. We got, who else do we have? I said Raising Elm, but I'll say it again. Matt Stadge. What's happening, Matt? We got, again, Alex, a.k.a. Collecting Dude. We got Super Crispy Comics. We got Sweet Gems with the Fire. We got John, Big Daddy, Ross, Nikita Gare, Spider Dude, Gary's Comics and Movies. By the way, Gary, hold on, let's see if we mentioned everybody. Gary picked up Strange Tales 102, Strange Tales Annual 2, Amazing Spider-Man 50, Avengers 48, 62, Tales of Suspense 52, at a small convention. That's fantastic. Hopefully we see some of that in Fresh from the Comic Shop at some point. That'd be great. That's a haul.
That's a 4-figure amount of books.
And we got KJ Height, by the way. KJ, I think KJ has sent us in a props or flops. We're going to get to that in in a bit. But yeah, please just hit the like button. Subscribe to us if you haven't. We are truly appreciative you're spending a Sunday night with us. And yeah, by the way, this weekend was an extravaganza, especially for Joe. We touched upon that. We're going to get into this right now. Normally we have our guests here. We do the interview, but right now we're just going to go over a review of, hold on. I have an image I created. It's fun. King Kon 4.
Oh my God.
Now Joe was there, so he's going to be able to give us a full review on a few things. But he just, I guess, we'll just roll this video that you had. That give an idea of your booth.
I took a video at King Kon of my booth and just a little bit behind the scenes kind of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Before you roll the video, I do want to say there are 27 people in this room, 27 million. That is.
That equals a million. You get that wrong every night.
16 million likes though, so we got to get those likes up. So hit that thumbs up button, and Jeff, I will let you take it away.
By the way, hello Keystone Comics, Nukes Comics.
Oh yeah, people
all in the
great,
in the
perfect.
Oh yeah, so we'll just roll this video of you at your booth, just giving an idea of what it was like at the convention. Brief idea. So here we go.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from 360 Comics. We're set up at King Kon. We've got tons of good stuff. I got Pope of Chili Town here helping me out. And I got this new intern. He is... Jeff, what are you doing?
You told me to put books up.
You're putting them up backwards.
You didn't say
Jeff, just go get us some coffee. Jeff, give me the book back.
I quit. Just cream.
If y'all don't know, you should. That was Mike, aka Pope of Chili Town. Yes, it happened. Joe and I met. We were in the same place, same time, and we hugged, and it was glorious.
Amazing. Listen, I was standing in my booth. I was talking to a customer or something, or picking my nose. I don't know. And I feel someone coming behind me. I looked to the side, and I saw Mike. So it wasn't him trying to come behind me.
It was invading your private space.
It was. You were up against me, and I was
Yeah.
What the? And I turn around, and I see Jeff just standing there behind me after weeks of me saying, dude, come to King Kon, dude, and him being like, I don't know if I can make it, blah, blah, blah. He surprised me. And yeah, it was amazing.
It was a lot of fun. It was really great seeing a lot of you people like John, Heroes Reborn, Alex, Collecting Dude, who took that video, by the way. Who else? I missed Josh's comics. Who else was there? There were a ton of people there. Really great seeing everybody, especially for the first time. Oh, we got No Good Comics. Who else? Just a ton of people. It was really cool. Since launching this channel, I really haven't been to an event like that. I met Dan De La Torre on the West Coast when Chris and I did a broadcast from his comic shop. But that's the only closest thing I've had to this. And seeing all of these amazing people and friends there, it was a blast. But let's get into you and your experience there, because I was only there for one day. You were a vendor there selling books. So why don't we just start off with what trends did you see, or books people were searching for, or those kinds of... Yep, there we go. Let's bring it up. What did you see?
So it was interesting because last King Kon, which was I think it was like fall, maybe late summer, fall, about 6 months ago, who knows. I sold a ton of books for my $1, $3, and $5 bins. My cheaper stuff, mostly run fillers, minor keys, modern books, and stuff like that. That was everyone's focus last time. In fact, one guy came on last time and bought over 100 books for my $3 bins. He was trying to fill runs. Now, this time around, it was almost the exact opposite. I sold very few books. I probably sold less than 100 books in total from all my $1, $3, $5 bins. It was mostly people picking up the priced books, which are anywhere from, $7 to $50, as well as a lot of purchases of wall books and slabs. Now, what that makes me think is that last time during the downfall of the market, 6 months ago or whatever, people were a little bit worried about picking up the more pricey books because they're thinking, hey, I'm thinking I can go down, get this at a lower price later on. I think the price is still coming down. So they were buying the run fillers and stuff like that, and the cheap stuff that really couldn't go down any lower than $1 or $3. This time, I feel like people are more secure in this market. They feel like things have bottomed out or close to bottomed out. So they're willing to put their money into the bigger books. It also probably has something to do with tax returns hitting people's banks accounts this month. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, though. I mean, it's good that, again, people were going for the bigger books as opposed to run fillers and things like that. Now, the highlight obviously was me. Duh. But other friends that you ran into, who do you also want to mention? There were a ton of people here. Again, Alex. Josh was there. I missed him. John, man, it was really great seeing you as well. Paul Bond was there. Who else? So many people were there. It was a lot of fun. Anybody that you were excited to see that you didn't know you would... Oh, by the way, Mike, Pope of Chili Town, cracks me up all the time when I'm around. But anybody you didn't think you'd see there that really surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you were the biggest surprise for sure. But yeah, there were a couple people who I either haven't seen in a while, like Michelle from Moonlit Comics, who was actually the person who introduced me to this channel that I'm now a co-host of.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was there. We caught up. We hadn't seen each other in a while. which was great. Actually, I haven't seen her since the 3-men swap last year, which was like closing in on a year ago. So that was great to see her and catch up. A bunch of people who have bought stuff from me in claim sales on Instagram.
That's cool.
I've interacted with, but never met in person.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul P 1974. He picked up some books for me recently. Ken on Base, who I'd never met in person before, but he's bought a bunch for me on Instagram. And then some people who have bought from me a couple times and I've met a couple times, seeing them around. Deadite Comics, he's another great seller on Instagram. We've done some sales, some trades and stuff like that with each other. So yeah, that was all awesome. Of course, seeing the other vendors who I get to see at these East Coast shows, and the 3 Men in a Basement guys, the
that was great stuff, dude.
Bronzeville Comics, who I literally, no joke, 6 out of 7 days of the week, I talk to Jim from Bronzeville Comics on the phone. We talk a lot, but getting to see him in person is great, especially when there's an event in New Jersey, because it's right in between him in New York and me in Philly.
It's so weird because, I've been interacting with these people so long, whether they're audience members or people who have their own channels, and it's like you feel them, but you're standing next to them like, wait a minute, I haven't been in for you, especially for you. I was like, wait a minute, we really haven't seen each other in person ever.
I know, it's crazy.
It's just weird, but it just felt whatever. It was just so.
What did I say to you? I was like, oh, dude, you have feet.
Yeah, exactly.
You're taller than I thought you were.
I knew you were going to say that. Of course, I get that all the time.
Listen, I get the opposite. You're shorter than I thought you
were.
Well,
you're way taller than I thought you'd be.
Oh yeah, you thought I was like 4'9".
Way taller, yeah. So I was glad to see that you could reach the pedals in your car.
I can.
Because I didn't believe that at all. But it was really cool. It was a really great event. And by the way, it was a great show. I think Josh's Comics just said it was the best show he's ever been to, which that's saying a lot.
I'll tell you this: as a vendor, I sold more dollar value than I ever have at a show by more than 2 times.
It was happening. There were people like you were like shoulder to shoulder at some of these bins at a lot of these vendors. So it was packed. So by the way, Jim, yeah. So that being said, like you were there last year. This is so true. Goodbye. 360 and I get to joke around online, but it is always better in person. But financial models have to be tall. I don't understand what that means, but hey, I guess I'm a model. But that being said, so again, it was hopping, but you were there last year. Can you see any sort of growth from last year's show to this year's show?
Yeah, so this for those of you who don't know, they expanded this year to 2 days, which this is the 4th King Kon. They have done them every 6 months for the past 2 years. So this is the 4th one. It is also the first time they did the 2-day show. And going back to that first one, it was during the height of the comic boom, kind of coming out of COVID, all that stuff. I guess 18 months ago. It was actually the first time I ever met Bronzeville Comics in person.
Mm-hmm.
I had not met him before that. Unfortunately, I had to miss the second one, had some family circumstances. And then the third one, was the first time I sold. And it was the first time at a bigger venue. The APA Hotel, or the first time that I was at one that was at the same venue, APA Hotel Woodbridge. There was a great turnout last year. There were, I think, almost 400 people through the door last year in just one day. This one definitely blew that out of the water. Not only was it a 2-day show, the first day there were over 400 people through the door, and the second day I didn't get to count yet, but I'm sure there were at least 100 unique people coming in on
top of the
today as well. So there were a couple hundred people there today. Let's say there was 100 people that weren't there Saturday, but were there Sunday. So that means over 500 different people through the door over the weekend. Over 500 yesterday. Okay, maybe I was wrong about that. I heard over 400, but yeah, there certainly was a bigger turnout. And whether they continue to go with the 2-day model or go back to one, this was kind of like the test run on that. It's going to be really good. They just sent over 600 on their page. So there we go. There's some confirmation.
I mean, we don't know the financial what their overhead is on this thing, but it was hopping both days is what you're basically saying. So if that's any indication, they should do the same thing next year, and hopefully it'll continue to grow. And by the way, it's so cool to see people in the audience that were interacting with each other, like Josh from Josh's Comics and John from Heroes Reborn. I guess Josh may have bought something from John. It's just cool to see this. So this is what the community is all about, people. Mm-hmm. This is why, Joe, myself, Chris, we do this. It's fun to interact with you people. It's fun to talk comics. It's what we love. So
speaking of community and stuff, like this is a community run event. This is Mike and Greg are the two guys that run this show. They put the show together, a year and a half ago, and they've been running it every 6 months since. Shout out to them. They do an awesome job. There's a reason that there is a wait list to be a vendor at this show. In fact,
interesting.
I asked a week before the first show, hey, if anyone drops out, let me know. And if not, I'm on for the second one. And he said to me, hey, I have a huge wait list already, so we'll see. I didn't even get on the second show, and I wouldn't have been on the third show, but someone dropped out 2 weeks before. And I got put on last minute for the third show and then got to do this fourth show. So there is a big wait list to be on this show. It is a phenomenal show. And I just want to let Goodbye Comics know that, yes, I am wearing pants. And Jeff might be. I can't confirm.
Why? What's the point? Just kidding. Okay, last thing here. Last thing with the review. Let's go one more thing here. Any funny story or something that sticks out from you from this weekend? What do you got?
I made a boneheaded move this morning. I got up, I got breakfast with Pope at Chili Town, came back up to the hotel room, took a shower, packed all my stuff up because the show started at 9:30 for early birds. I wanted to be there by 8:30 or so to get set up and everything. So I decided to pack all my stuff up, put it in my car, and check out of the hotel room so I didn't have to worry about that once the show started. So I do so, and I'm getting ready. I take all the lids off the boxes, put my wall books back up. I'm ready to go, price some stuff, and then I'm like, feeling around in my pocket. Where's my wad of cash? This is important at a show, not just because you got to give change to people, but you don't ever want to lose your wad of cash. Well, the night before, for some reason, I took the wad of cash out and put it in the hotel room bedside table drawer. I recommend not doing this. Leave it out in the open so you can see it, because I did not see it and I forgot it was in there. And it was a large sum of money, a 4-figure amount of money that I did not want to lose. I went to the counter. I said, hey, I left something in my room. Can I have a key card back? They gave me a key card. I went upstairs. I opened that drawer, and I'm like, oh, God, it was not in there. And my heart's pounding. I'm like, did I just lose, like, most of the money that I made this weekend?
Oh, God.
So I go down to the desk. I'm like, hey, I left something in the room. It was cash in the drawer. The room was cleaned already. The beds were stripped. Someone has this money. And they said, okay, let us call. I stood at that counter for 15 minutes while they called around to people. My heart's beating the whole time.
Yeah.
Finally, the head of the housekeeping, I don't know what the turnover crew, whatever they are, she comes down and she goes, I'm sorry about this, and hands me this. And they asked, like, do you want to file a report? Like, I don't know if the person took it maliciously or just took it and was going to turn it in. And either way, if someone's stripping beds at a hotel, I don't want them to lose their job.
No.
For the betterment of the world, I don't gain anything from this person losing their job. And I hope they would learn, maybe don't do this again if they did in fact maliciously take it. But again, it might have not been a robbery kind of thing. It might have just been like, oh, I'm just going to bring this down when I'm done my shift or whatever.
Yeah, I mean.
So I said, no, I have my money back. Everything's okay. Thank you very much. I thanked the manager, and I got it back. But man, that could have been a much worse situation.
Yeah, it really could have. You're very fortunate. That's really stupid of you. You should know better, and you've hopefully learned. Jim said it right. Like, Joe tips hotel cleaning staff very well. Yep. Goodbye Comics. Biggest cleaning tip ever, for sure, right there. For Sure. Okay. Well, I am very happy you got that money back. I'm sure the community is very happy you got that money
It
back.
would have been a different weekend had I not. Let's say
Yeah. Yeah. But again, glad to know that happened. And I'm also glad to know, for me, I'm not going to speak for you because I already know what you're going to say, but I had an amazing time there. I'm so glad I went. It was literally spur of the moment. Joe kept asking me to go, and I never even looked how far it was. It was an hour away. So in the morning, I'm like, oh shit, why don't I should just go? What is this stupid?
Yeah.
So, jumped in the car, was there probably an hour in. I got there, I think at 2 or something like that. And we hung out the whole time. It was so awesome. Joe begged me to stay for dinner, but I knew if I did that, I would have been there for a very late night, considering you guys went to the bar afterwards.
We did, but honestly, I was so exhausted that I was in bed watching like Whatnot streams by 9:30.
It's got to be exhausting.
Yeah,
you are on your feet all day. You're interacting with people. The room is buzzing. So, threats, Jeff. You better show up at BDCF.
Ooh, back to Comic Fest.
That's what I thought. We'll see. We'll see.
Listen, it's 3 weeks from now.
It's middle April.
Saturday, April 15th.
Okay.
So if you can make it, I mean, come hang the whole day.
Maybe we'll do the cannon from your house. I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know. We'll see. Don't hold us to that, people. Do not hold us to. Anyways, I'm so happy I went. Joe, I'm sure you were happy as a vendor there.
Oh yeah.
And again, Mark Lineker, BDCF, not BDS. Oh boy. Anyways, moving on. It's another segment with Joe called Ask Joe. Woo! We did good with that harmonizing. Yo, all that practice paid off at King Kon. It was perfect. It was perfect. So we got a few questions to go over, but if you guys have any questions for Joe in the comments, please ask away because we're going to get to 2 right now. First being, this is from Raising Elm. I believe Justin is in the chat right now. Why? This is a good one too. This is a very good question. Why is Nightcrawler your favorite character, Joe?
So there's a couple reasons behind this. First and foremost, the thing that made me love Nightcrawler, if you guys remember the early mid 90s, the X-Men arcade game, the stand-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, first level, you're going across the street, you're fighting Sentinels, you come to the end, first level boss Pyro. Okay. If you remember that game, it was at every bowling alley, every arcade.
Specifically, next to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That was there at a lot too. Yeah, it's literally the same game. But anyway, so I tried out all the different characters. You could move spots on the board, and you could be Colossus, you could be Nightcrawler, Wolverine. I felt like Nightcrawler in that game had the best mutant power, where he teleports around the screen and smacks all the bad guys within a certain vicinity.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I thought that was not only the strongest because it kind of did like most of the screen, but also I thought it looked really cool with him teleporting around and stuff. So that was the character of choice for me in that game when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, first getting into this stuff. Not only that, but the look of that character, so different than Wolverine. He's just a hairy guy. Beast, he's just a blue hairy guy. How about a blue not hairy guy with a cool tail, 3 toes, and weird hands who teleports? I'm into that. So character design, love that. I love that he was kind of mysterious in a way. The fact that he was foreign, he was German, had that accent and stuff like that. And there wasn't a lot on like his backstory until they later fleshed that out in the really the 2000s that happened, or late 90s at least. Yeah, just a really cool, interesting character to me. I was raised Catholic. The character has some big ties to religion, and really also like not only does he have ties to religion, but like kind of battles with that, like kind of like this is how I was raised. Like, what should I believe? What should I do in my life regarding these beliefs and stuff like that? Very similar to how Matt Murdock is the same with his Catholic guilt that he is chronically riddled with. But yeah, that's my Nightcrawler, and he's just since that day has been my favorite. I always wanted to be Nightcrawler for Halloween, but there's never really a Nightcrawler costume, so I settled for
Really
Wolverine.
That's a commitment right there. That's really a commitment.
You gotta blue yourself.
Yeah. Yo, that's fantastic. That's a really good story. I never would have guessed that. Real quick, follow-up question from Mark Lineker. Do you own the Nightcrawler miniseries in high grade?
I do. I own a newsstand. I think they're newsstands of the Nightcrawler miniseries in high grade. I own the Nightcrawler solo run. I own a complete run of Amazing X-Men, which is the Nightcrawler focused one with him like with sword on the front.
Yeah.
Of course, Excalibur, a Nightcrawler centric team. I own a lot, and of course, Nightcrawler's first, second, third appearance, all that stuff. I own a lot of Nightcrawler books. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so here's the deal. Mike just got in, aka Pope of Chili Town. He wants you to start over. We're not gonna do that. But you know what? You know what we're gonna do, honestly, because I'll never get sick of this.
Play the video
again. The video again.
Play
because
it.
Mike, and this is all improv, by the way, and you'll see in a sec. But Mike, take it away.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from 360 Comics. We're set up at King Kon. We've got tons of good stuff. I got Pope of Chili Town here helping me out. And I got this new intern. He is... Jeff, what are you doing?
You told me to put books up.
You're putting them up backwards.
You didn't say
Jeff, just go get us some coffee. Jeff, give me the book back.
I quit. Just cream.
He's so great, Mike. You're so great. You're so great.
Little just cream ad lib at the end.
Oh, perfect! Absolutely perfect.
Perfect cap to that video.
Yeah, hat tip to Alex, aka Collecting Dude, for taking that. But all right, moving back on because this is about you, not about Mike. Even though he wants to make it about him. Even though we made his career by having him as a guest on the canon. So this is from Josh's Comics. Joe, what is one book you will never sell or get rid of in your PC, and why?
So the only book, actually, that's a lie. I kept two raw books. But when I bought my house in 2019, I sold every comic I owned except for a few slabs, which were honestly the only slabs that I owned. I had probably owned less than 20 slabs at that point. But two slabs, and I kept two raw books. One was a first Juggernaut that I bought at my LCS, beat to crap. I still have it. It's graded now. It's a 1.8. And the only other book that I kept was a Spider-Man 1, Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man 1 from 1990, because that was my first comic book ever. It was gifted to me on my 5th birthday by my dad's friend. I think I've talked about that on the show before. That book I will never get rid of for any reason. I could be homeless and hungry, and I'll still just be holding that book with me because A, it wouldn't buy me much food, and B, it's too sentimental.
Hopefully your wife will be making those brownies she made for King Kon, because they were outstanding, by the way.
Good.
We forgot to talk about that. All right. Next question here. This is a good one. From Caleb Leland, aka Cable Leland. Joe, do you do your own cleaning and pressing, or do you have someone do that for you?
Yeah, so I do it. I've been practicing. I got a press over a year ago. I was at my old house, maybe like 18 months ago. Started pressing on, some early 90s books that, dollar bin stuff. Went back to some 80s, some 70s, and started eventually pressing some Silver Age once I was a little bit more comfortable, trying different pressure points or pressure amounts, trying different temperatures and stuff like that. And originally I was saving my expensive books to have someone else press them, probably Erod 212, if you're familiar with him, great presser from the New York area. But he's got a long wait list. So I was like waiting, and I was like, I'm getting better. Why don't I just start pressing my pricier stuff myself? And I'm up to the point where, I'll press a book that's worth a couple $100 up to like, maybe if it gets a 9.8, it's 1,000 or so. I haven't pressed any like real big books yet. I have a Hulk 181 that's kind of when I can feel comfortable pressing my Hulk 181, that's when I'll know that I've like I've
Quit your
made
job and you're running. Yeah, yeah.
not quite, but that's when I know that I am at a very firm level, firm comfort. And I've pressed some books from some friends too. I don't do it as like a business or anything. You know, I have people ask me, hey, can you press these books for me? If I'm selling someone a book and they were like, hey, can you throw it a quick press before you send it to me? I'll do that, you know, as long as it's not excessive or anything like that. Especially a more expensive book. But you know, people always ask, you know, do you do pressing? I just don't have the time to do it for anyone else. And honestly, I'm not the best presser out there. I'm
Yeah.
not Erod 212 or Magic Pressing or Up a Grade Pressing. These are all guys on Instagram that I see posting really awesome work. Or here, what is it? Heroes Restoration. They're amazing.
Uh-huh.
But I'm happy with the work that I do, so I'm going to continue to work on my pressing skills and press my own books, and hopefully I'll feel comfortable eventually pressing the big ones.
All right, all right. Well, it's good that I like the approach you're taking, and I like the fact that you're actually open to pressing some books that you've sold to people. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure not every it's time consuming, sure, but
Mm.
Alex, aka the collecting dude, what was the best gift you got at King Kon?
Honestly, it was Jeff's arrival. Let's be real.
Oh, wonderful. But I did get true story. I bought Joe a Dazzler #1 that he turned it down.
I didn't turn it down. I
turned it down.
And I want you to give this gift to your daughter. That's what I said to you.
Okay. All right.
I wanted your child to benefit from it.
Actually,
I have a lot of Dazzler #1s.
I know that was the joke, everybody. If you don't know, he has literally like 400 Dazzlers.
400.
#1. We got a Supreme Love. By the way, a Supreme Love. Hold on. Hey, Joe. Hope King Kon was good to you. All right. Before we ask the next question, why don't you all hit the like button or something and subscribe to us? Just why not? Right?
We have
we're fun.
People watching right now.
We're fun.
That's
we're
a
fun.
lot of people.
Yeah, we're fun. Okay, so a Supreme Love. Joe, what do you think of whitening, and would you ever send a book in to try it?
I personally don't care what other people do. I want to preface it with that because I've seen some really nice whitening jobs. I have no interest in learning how to do it myself, nor do I think I would get it done on any of my books.
Mm-hmm.
CGC has started catching on to it. Not in all cases. If you just do a little bit of whitening, you know, it doesn't seem like they give you, you know, the dreaded purple label. But I've seen instances of people getting books back that were whitened that they did give a purple label, which, for those of you who don't know, signifies restoration. You're creating a chemical reaction on the comic to alter it in a way. So I totally understand CGC calling that restoration. Like I said, really the biggest thing for me as to why I do not do this, paper degrades over time, just naturally. You know, eventually all the comic books from the golden age are going to be either encapsulated and like secure in a way, or they're going to be turned to dust. That is just the reality of it. We don't know the long-term effects of this whitening
That's a good
process.
point.
I am concerned that possibly even in a slab, we're going to see some sort of a breakdown, some sort of discoloration, something like that. I don't know for sure. I'm not a chemist. Maybe I can ask my dad. He's a chemist, but he's a polymer chemist, so I don't know if he's going to know anything about peroxide and comic book paper. But I am staying away from it for now until there is more information. You know, I know people that do it. Paul Bond, who's in the chat right now, he's had some really nice success, does amazing work. Honestly, if you're interested in getting some stuff done, I'm not sure if he's doing it for other people or just himself, but
he showed us that, on his phone, especially with the color grades and things like that. Really impressive what he's done to his books. So,
so that's my thought on it. I am staying away from it personally, but I'm not the end all be all. If someone is knowledgeable about it, like Paul, talk to them if you want to learn about it. You know, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's well said. I would not mess with it. That's just me. By the way, my dad's a chemical engineer as well. Interesting.
Oh,
Very interesting.
where?
He worked for DuPont his whole career.
Okay, my dad was a Roman Haas / Dow guy, so
They probably are best friends. We don't even know it.
yeah, they probably hang out on the weekends.
Yeah, definitely. All right. There's another good question here, but before we do, here's it, John. John, aka Heroes Reborn. To both Jeff and Joe, what book were you guys hoping to find at the show and did not see it?
Oh, did not see it. Well, I'm always looking for an ASM 13. It's been on my list for like 2 years, and I have not found one that I'm happy with. I did see one there. It was lower grade than I wanted. It was like a 3.0, I think, maybe a 3.5, and I kind of want a more mid grade one. But as far as books that I actually saw no copies of, I didn't have much time to like really ask around myself, but I saw no Crow related books on walls.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Other than my wall, which obviously that's a book I'm selling. I'm trying to upgrade my second printing and third printing of Crow. Or sorry, my third printing of Crow one. I have a 9/8 second printing already. Trying to get a 9/8 of the third printing, and it's very hard to find because low print run book. And I'm trying to upgrade my Dead World 10, which has an ad for the Crow on the back, and my Caliber Presents 1, which is the actual first appearance of the Crow. I saw no Crow books, original Crow books. I saw stuff from like the 90s runs and stuff, but yeah, didn't see any of that around.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I had no intention of buying anything, or I was just going to see people. Specifically Joe. The whole time driving down, I was just excited to just surprise him, which I did brilliantly, might I say. Yeah, that was it. But I got some good. Jesus, Joe, what did I get? Like 20 books? I had no intention of getting anything.
Yeah, you had a nice stack of. There was half price stuff. Shout out Bad Fish Comics.
Yeah, they were great, man. They were great. A lot of cool stuff. So
I think he's Long Island, but he might. I think he's from Long Island. He might be from Jersey though, but I forgot.
Yeah, they were great. It was the two guys there. But yeah, Joe had some amazing stuff.
And he shared the table with someone else who I forget who it was.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, really happy to that I went and I picked up some fun stuff. By the way, I just want to comment real quick on this. Supreme Love, Joe. It's early on the news dropping yesterday. Do you think it has the potential to shake the future MCU plans with Kang? We're going to touch upon that next week.
Yeah.
Let's wait for the dust to settle with this. Like, who knows? There's a lot of conflicting reports or statements being taken back by accusers, things like that. We don't know. So, but we'll hit up on that. That's a very good question, Supreme Love, but we'll hit up on that next week. But right there, I think that there ends, unless there's one more question before I say this statement, that there ends Ask Joe. Oh, good work, man. Yo, that practice that we've been doing all week has been paying off. Oh!
Well, wait.
Hold on. I'm not running it through anything right there. That was me.
Better at your house right now.
I know. Stop. Stop it, please don't. No, I'm blushing now. All right, moving on though. Here's another great segment. Now, Chris is part of the show. Chris is Comic Book Ken just as much as we are Comic Book Ken, and we all know this, right? But he's taking care of things on the family front, which is you got to do family first, right? But this is his segment. That he came up with, that he dives deep into the data. Joe and I do our best, but we cannot compete with Chris. But that's not the point. We're keeping it alive for when he comes back, and it is props or flops. We ask you, the audience, to send us your books that you have questions on, that you want answers either from us, myself, Joe, or Chris, or people in the community. If it was a good buy, it's as easy as this, people. Upload any comic to Instagram. Use the hashtag props or flops. Be sure to tag Comic Book Ken, Journos Comics, and 360. Tell us why this book interests you. Tell us how much you paid for it. Remember, this is for investment purposes, and we're going to do our best to answer. We'll break down the market live on our show. We do have 3 books this week. I feel like I'm better equipped to answer, and Joe, you're better equipped to answer on probably all three of them, but definitely one. I don't think I'm. It's the first one. And it's our friend Paul Bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's just get into it right now because we got from Bad News Bond. I attended King Kon this weekend, and I bought myself some books. Sorry, people, I'm having trouble reading. Brought some books with me. He brought some books with him, everybody. Brought some books with me to trade for ones I would want my PC. Only PC Golden Age books, PCH and Sci-Fi, good girl covers. This first solo Doom was one I decided to bring, and I ended up selling the book to Very Gary for $200, and I picked up this Planet Comics 48 for $200 from another dealer. I have this book in the 3 to 3.5 range. Best case, a 4. Is this a props or flops? I guess he's just asking just a straight up trade. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I think the Doom book is one to have because it's going to continue growing. And I think it's going to be highly sought after down the line. Mm-hmm. But let's see what you think, Joe. Your thoughts. We're already getting some answers here.
Yeah. So, this is an interesting one to dissect, and this is actually I think this is the first time that we are seeing a trade.
100%. We've never seen a trade before.
Right. So it's going to be cool to look at this. So let's look at Dr. Doom. So we have Dr. Doom in Marvel Superheroes number 20. This is the first solo Dr. Doom story, first solo Dr. Doom cover. Nice thick square bound book. It really is the Doom book to have other than his first few appearances. Fun fact, Dr. Doom did not have his own titled book, a book actually titled Dr. Doom, until 2019. That book just came out a few years ago.
That's crazy.
Literally one of the biggest, like even Green Goblin had a run in the 90s. And, think about all the other villains. Venom, Carnage had a run before that. Tons of villains had their own run. Dr. Doom did not get one until 2019. That being said, he did have other ones like Book of Doom and stuff like that. But let's get back to this book. Pros of this book. Dr. Doom is very likely coming to the MCU. I think we all can agree on that. It's eventually going to happen, which will probably bump up the value of this book. And of course, it's a Silver Age key issue. So long term, it's probably going to, at the very least, hold its value, if not continue to rise with the market. It's a great cover. Can't go wrong with that. Moving on to the Planet Comics book. This is a Golden Age book. It's probably significantly more scarce. I didn't look at, a census count or anything like that, but I've owned that Dr. Doom book a couple times, bought it in collections and stuff. And that specific issue of Planet Comics, I had never seen until Paul showed it to me. And not only that, but you very rarely come across Planet Comics unless you're at a Golden Age dealer's booth or something like that. Maybe a comic store that has some nice Golden Age stuff. So it's a much scarcer book, at least from what I've seen. I could be wrong about that. Again, I would essentially wager on it that is there a lower census count on that Planet Comics book. Older, scarcer, that's definitely a plus. Now, it doesn't have an MCU connection. There is probably never going to be a giant spike in this book. So
in the Marvel superhero or
the Planet Comics.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, there's probably never going to be a big spike in that book because, there's no connection to, unless they do a Planet Comics movie, but it's not like it's issue number 1 or something that like that issue would spike up. And I think the chances of them doing a movie based upon Planet Comics specifically is probably pretty low. That being said, Dr. Doom has that chance to spike up, but again, we're looking at a much scarcer book. And in my opinion, this is again my opinion, if you can trade 2 books and they have similar value, the one that is scarcer is the better one to trade for. And that is, again, that's an opinion. That Dr. Doom book, you can find it at some percentage, some probably double-digit percentage of comic retailers, comic stores around the country. Exactly what Goodbye said. You can always get that Dr. Doom again. Planet Comics, not so easy. So that is why I'm going to give this a props. Like I said, the Doom book definitely has a chance of spiking really quickly at some point. But I think over time, the other book will probably be more valuable just because of the scarcity.
Yeah.
Doctor Doom, the age compared to Doctor Doom, and the fact that you can't find it as easily. Golden Age is certainly still a growing market too. As more people get into comics, you start off picking up. Most people are picking up like 80s and 90s books that are cheap, going back to the 70s, back to the 60s, and a lot of people are diving back into the 50s and 40s and Golden Age stuff. So, props on that one, Paul. I like that trade.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it props too. Again, I don't know much about Planet Comics, but the fact that it 100% is a scarcer issue, it's pre-code as well, and you can find. I mean, these Dooms are getting more expensive, but you can find them.
Sure.
Who asked? Somebody asked. Tishu asked, "What did you pay for the Doom book originally?" And Paul said $200. So again, I think he wins here. Like, absolutely. I'm not sure if he's looking to send it to CGC or what have you. But yeah. See, Alex broke it down right here. This is, again, Chris does a great job of this, but thanks, Alex. Planet Comics, there's number 48. There's only 127 on the census, whereas Marvel Superheroes number 20, there's 1,092.
Yeah,
so right there,
9 times. That's
I think it's a props all day just because of it. It probably will be a more desirable comic. Will it hit the acclaim of Marvel Superheroes number 20? I don't think so. That's an iconic cover of an iconic character that's about to make their MCU debut. Mm-hmm. But again, we're just here for opinions. You guys have your opinions. We have our opinions. But if Paul feels good about it, that's the most important thing. His opinion is the most important thing here. So again, Paul, we all think it's a props. Everybody, nobody gave it a
flarp.
Yeah. So anyways. All right, here we go. Next one. That was a good one. Good job, Paul. We got Goonish Lurker. All right, here we go. For this props or flops, I went out comic shopping on a $10 cash budget. I was inspired by a recent Swaggle House Comics video to get the best comic. By the way, you guys should all see that video. It's very good. He actually Swaggle House made it out. Click the link below. His link is down there, as well as 360. Y'all better be following 360. Excuse me, I had to burp. I was able to, so he went out with $10. I was able to find Secret Warriors issue number 2 and 6. Both of these I'm kind of speculating on because of the future appearances of Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine in the MCU. And the third book, which doesn't really relate to the other two, is Daredevil issue number 252, which was the first appearance of Mary Walker, who later becomes Typhoid Mary. Plus, this is a rad John Romita Jr. cover. The 3 of these comics were priced at $2.99 each, but I got them for buy 2, get 1 free. So I paid $6 and some change. Let me know what you guys think of my props or flop submission this week. So here's the deal. I did a little research to see what New Warrior or Secret Warriors issues number 2 and 6 had to do. Do you know?
Oh yeah, these are keys I've been picking up. I got a couple of each of them.
I didn't know what the connection to her is.
Oh yeah.
Tell us.
So I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, number 2 is the first appearance of Madam Hydra, and I believe her identity is secret at that time. And then issue 6 is when it is revealed that Contessa Allegra I missed Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. There we go.
De la.
There's a la in there too. De la Fontaine.
Yes.
I forget her name all the time. Literally, I mess it up.
It's tough. It is.
Anyway, I believe that is where her identity is revealed to be Madam Hydra.
Okay.
Which, in my opinion, the resurgence of Hydra in the MCU with her at the forefront as the matriarch of the group, that to me seems like it is definitely coming. Interesting.
Very interesting. Okay. And then obviously, we already saw Typhoid Mary in the Daredevil season 3 on Netflix. I think that's a props in itself right there. I don't know if she'll be coming back in the MCU. However, you're going to see her you'll see her in comic books again. She's that kind of a character. I'm not sure, I wouldn't say she's cultish, but she is somebody she's a really cool character. So
yeah, I grew up in the 90s and she was more prominent then. So she was certainly a regular character in my Spider-Man writing, Spider-Man reading and stuff like that. So yeah, I think a lot of people my age would agree with that. People that grew up, reading in the 90s.
Mhm.
As for my props or flops, do you want me to get into that now?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
this segment is. It's props or
Oh,
flops.
right. Yeah,
That's
true.
what we do here. We
Um,
they tell you they got the book, or in this specific instance, Goonish Lurker got it for
yeah.
less than $10. He spent $8.
No.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. He spent
$6 and change.
$6. Yeah, that's right. $6 because it was buy two get one free. So he's paid $6 for these 3 books. So go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a consensus forming, brewing.
yeah, I
in
think
in
for
the
that price
audience.
point, this is a props all day. You
Yeah.
got 3 key issues for $2 a piece. Pretty much any key that has some significance, it's going to sell for $2. Like, great. Not only that, but 2 of them have ties to a character that is
In the MCU.
prominently
Yeah.
been like peppered into the last few MCU projects, who's going to be showing up
Thunderbolts.
probably a lot more in the future. And has potential to even take on this specific role that is in this story if we see a reemergence of Hydra. And then the other book is the first appearance of a character who, her first appearance as Typhoid Mary is the one to get. That's like a $25 book. Condition dependent, of course. High grade, I'm talking $25. But I always like picking up characters' first appearance as the regular selves as well. I think those are really underrated keys in my opinion, because that's really her first appearance. She just doesn't appear as Typhoid Mary yet.
Yep.
And yeah. So anyway, props, easy. Price point is great. Potential, solid. Key issues, can't go wrong with that. $6 is awesome.
Yeah, we have a consensus here. Props all day. Nobody has dissented from us. So for both of those books, it's for all 3 of those books, it's absolute props. For Paul's book, before, props. Let's see if we get a consensus here. Let's see if we get all in one here. Let's see. I don't know. This one, I don't know. Because we have from Heights Ken, I think that's KJ Heights. I think that's who that is in the chat. This is DC Comics Presents number 26, the first appearance of Raven, Starfire, and Cyborg. It's missing the preview that they are in, and it's a 5.0 to 7.5. I got this book for $2 plus $5 shipping, so all in $7. Joe, let's talk.
So this is a really interesting one. For those of you who don't know, DC was doing this a ton in the early and mid 80s. They were basically putting a preview in the centerfold pages, multiple pages in the center of a book that previewed something that they were coming out with soon. This book was done that way. All-Star Squadron was done that way in Justice League 193. Captain Carrot was done that way in Teen Titans 16. And even Sonic the Hedgehog was done that way in a couple books, most notably Justice League International 33. These centerfold stories were often pulled out because they basically acted as their own comic within a comic. So you could pull them out and they would kind of look like a comic that had newsprint as the cover. And it often had like either a really cool splash page or an actual like kind of cover design like the Sonic one. And a lot of people pulled them out and basically kept them as a second comic book because it is a completely different story than the Superman Green Lantern crossover in the DC Comics Presents book. That being said, the Teen Titans appearance is the value of this book. This book is, a more expensive book, even in low grade, probably $50, $75. A couple hundred for a high grade raw, and then quite a bit of money for getting up there in the 9/8s. That being said, an incomplete version of this book. This is definitely a tough one because I like the fact that it presents like that book. I don't think as an investment it's good though. I think this is a great thing to pick up if you are someone who likes to display comics. I think $7, you're getting the bang for your buck there. As far as a cool display piece that looks like the first appearance of Teen Titans. But as far as an investment, I don't think you can really sell this for more than that. You know what I mean? And I don't think the value of this will really go up too much, given that it is missing what is making this book a key. So I love this as a personal collection buy, a display piece, something cool to have that is out of the ordinary because it is missing the center of it. But I got to give it a flop as far as an investment.
Yeah, it's definitely a props for $7. Again, exactly what you said. Like, if you want to display this, hey, especially like Cyborg is the most popular out of all those three characters. But
whoa, chill.
Cyborg is more popular than Starfire and Raven. Let's be honest.
I don't know, dude. If you go to any con in anywhere, there is some girl cosplaying as Raven.
All right, guys, let us know in the comments here who's more popular, Cyborg, Raven, or Starfire, please. But anyways, but again, we take the investment perspective, the mindset of an investment, and it's got to be a flops, unfortunately. And I think, well, actually, we're getting some mixed comments in here. You could sell it and not mention the missing.
Don't do that.
No, that's terrible. I don't know why I brought that up. Yeah. So, anyways, so KJ, it's looking like this is a flops for most people here, but you got it for $7, man. That's a win right there. To have that issue in your house, to display it, et cetera, et cetera. Just keep it away from that Scotch tape in the top left corner there. We see it.
This is a great investment in a comic room or a.
Oh, there you go. That's a good way to put it.
Well worded. It is not a good investment in, for financial gain.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, that's what this segment's about, investment purposes, and unfortunately, that is a flop. So we are 2 for 3 this week. Thank you all for sending in your props or flops.
I just want to say, it's not bad when people submit things that are flops because it gets the discussion going.
Yeah.
If everything was just a prop all day, that wouldn't be good. So it's good that you guys submit stuff that's kind of on the fence that we can discuss where it falls, because we've also disagreed before. You and I have disagreed. Chris and I have disagreed, and that is okay. And the chat disagrees and all that stuff. So, keep submitting those like line towers. Like if you're like, I bought Amazing Fantasy 15 for $80. Yeah, we're going to give that one props, guys.
Yeah.
But the ones that are right on the fence, I think those are probably the best for discussion. So keep it up.
100%. Yeah. If you're out, if again, just send it in. We love seeing your props or flops. We have one already for next week. Let's get at least 2 more in. But we are getting mixed results here on Cyborg, Raven, or Starfire. Actually, all 3 have been said.
Too, so
Beast, we did not mention Beast Boy. We didn't mention Beast Boy. We said out of the 3. Caleb says Cyborg. KJ says Raven. Supreme Love says Raven. Raw Dog says Starfire. Raising Elm says Beast Boy. Anyways, and then Tishu says that an incomplete book is a flop but was watching a Sergeant Fury sell on eBay. 2.5 went for under $900. What issue would that be? But okay. Anyways, one more reminder here for your props or flops submission. Hit us up on our Instagram by using the hashtag props or flops. Please tag us as well on the picture. Tag us on the picture. Comic Book Canon, Journos Comics, 360 Comics, just to make sure we get it. Tell us why this book interests you. Remember, this is an investment perspective. That's the discussion and the mindset we have. We all think it's a props, what Heights Ken sent in. However, a props being on as Joe, how'd you word it? It was a great like wall piece segment or investment or whatever.
Yeah, it's a great investment in a comic room, decorating a comic room.
Yep. And we'll pick 3 each week and break it down. Thank you all for submitting. But right now, we have, well, hold on. What do you got going there, Joe? Getting the algorithms? Getting the algorithms ready?
I'm working on the algorithm.
I can tell.
I'm trying to perfect it.
Because a guy who has a headshot like this definitely can put algorithms together on a
do you have that saved on here now?
No, not at all. It just somehow came up.
Yeah, I believe that.
Miraculously.
I actually hold on a second. I do want to. This might disappoint you. My company requested that we all our new headshots all have no tie. They're going for more business casual, going forward. So I actually got a new headshot taken on my business trip.
Well, we're gonna need that.
We'll have to update it. But
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Mike, you are a treasure that keeps on giving. For this comment right here. Yeah. That guy's bank definitely failed.
I don't have a bank.
Oh, it's so good, Mike. Mike, you seriously, man. Anyways, right now though, we have a little segment we call here where you can win prizes and have fun and talk about other people's gifts and you can have algorithms and stuff like that. What's it called there?
It's
fresh from the comic shop. Fly from the pressing salon. We ask you, the audience, to send in your fresh gets each and every week, and you never disappoint. On top of that, you can win an EGS slab. That's right, EGS. They're an up and coming comic book grading company. You all know Tony Trombetta. He's part of this community. He's building this business, and he's so kind to be giving away one slab a month, which will culminate into one Grand Slam slab that we'll have at the end of the year. So each month's winner will be entered to win the slab of the year. But I digress. We ask you, your fresh gets, they could be 30 years old. They could be 2 days old. As long as they're fresh in your collection, we want to see them. Now, there's some criteria here for this contest, fresh from the comic shop. We want to see a well-composed shot. Give us something that looks interesting. Give us depth of field. Give us something that relates to the book. Have fun with it. Get creative. This is your opportunity to blow our minds. There's a few of those in here this week that I absolutely love. Give us a unique book. Give us something that's unique that we've never seen before or nobody else in this world has, because that's a possibility. And we have that this week as well, Joe. And finally, tug at our heartstrings. Tell us what this book means to you. That goes a long way. Does it remind you of your father? Does it remind you of your best friend who got you collecting into comic books? Was it a book you had that you lost in a flood or something like that, and you got to save so much money to buy it back, but you're happy you did? Tell us what that book means to you. And again, those little 3 pieces of criteria. You don't have to have all 3, but at least one of them helps. Right, Joe?
Yeah.
And again, we break it down. We have semifinalists that move on to the finals to be able to win an EGS book. We're going to do last week's books. Let me explain this. We're going to do last week's books, which is the final week of March first, which will go up against Dan De La Torre's book. And then we're going to, well, not right now, but then we're going to do the first week of April, which is the submissions from this past week. So we will get to that in a second. But Dan De La Torre is in the finals. Oh, I'm sorry. No, he's in the semifinals, I believe. I gotta look this all up. I don't remember. But the book to win is this Spawn.
Oh, this one.
Look at this. Actually, I have a still. Let's use a still. The video never.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but I am
It
just
looks so
messing
good.
up.
I want to win.
I know, man. Look at that. The custom label right there from EGS. Y'all have to be following EGS on the Instagram. The link is down below, as well as the YouTubes. That's right. I said the YouTubes and the Instagram to win this beautiful, beautiful Spawn book. That's a custom label, people. You can get custom labels. Again, save 5% on your EGS order using the code Cannon5. Custom labels, free grader notes, fast turnaround times. I've used them. Joe has used them. Actually, Joe, you're going to be reviewing them soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I want to do a review of CGC, CBCS, EGS, and PGX. But it's going to be a review of all those companies and who I think will benefit from using which companies and so on and so forth. So we'll take a look at that.
Absolutely. So again, follow EGS. Follow them on the Instagrams. Follow them on the YouTubes. You'll be and submit, and you guys, you'll be entered you'll be submitted to possibly win this, an amazing slab like that. We'll have April slab. We'll reveal that next week, Joe. Stop bothering me. I don't know what it is yet. Tony has not gotten that to us yet. So please relax.
I heard it's either My Little Pony or Cabbage Patch Kids. He can't decide yet.
So Cabbage Patch Kids could do well. My Little Ponies actually do well too. So anyway,
Shout out all the bronies in the chat.
we do have a ton of
Both
bronies.
at Jellytown, let's be real.
I mean, seriously, Mike, you are a brony. A jabroni. What does jabroni mean? That was the Rock who used that, right?
He definitely did. I think it's an Italian thing, but I don't really know the definition of it. I always think of it like a doofus.
Goonish Lurker, you're gonna have to watch the replay because you had your we gave props to your submissions, your books, by the way. So but happy to have you right here. Oh, by the way, Goodbye Comics, My Little Pony vs. Transformers was dope. Got that for my daughter. She's just like she hasn't read it yet. All right. Here we go. Thank you, Alex. Jabroni, noun, informal, foolish, or contemptible person. Get it together, you jabronis. Thank you. That was wonderful. All right, moving on here. We're getting off track. We got a lot to go through here because we got Nuke's Comics up first. Love this cover. Absolutely love this. Is that Joe Quesada? Fresh from the comic shop, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man number 24. This issue is from the controversial One More Day storyline from 2007. I missed this storyline when it was originally released, so I had to see what all the fuss was about. Spider-Man goes to Doctor Strange to cast a spell to change the past. That sounds familiar. This features frenetic Quesada work. I was right. And an entertaining story. I picked this one up from DBS. Who says run-fills can't be fun-filled? Good stuff indeed. Yo! Who says run-fills can't be fun-filled? That's up there with low grade is better than no grade.
So he did this before, and you said the same thing.
I have a terrible memory.
You don't remember that?
No, that wasn't me.
That coin was termed. No, that term was coined.
Good job, Nukes. I've never heard that before. Thanks, man.
I think it was Nukes that said it the first time.
It probably was. Moving on. Supercrispy.comics. This is what we're talking about in terms of a well-composed shot. Look at there's depth of field, but there's also it pops with the colors too.
I love this.
That's really
fun fact.
Really well done.
Book, it's embossed, so it actually does pop out. Like it has texture to it.
Oh, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So where are we? Oh, I got my pops hooked on collecting comics now, but he mostly collects the Lady Deaths and Vampirellas. I wonder why.
Wow.
He bought a couple Batman crossover books that I'm going to have to trade him for, like this one. It's a good read with Batman and Spider-Man teaming up against the Joker and Carnage. We just had somebody submit this like a couple weeks ago, too. I never saw it before then, but it's a really cool. By the way, supercrispy.comics does some great leather work. As you can see, that's his company, Mazbaz Leather. Go support a community member there, people. We got next up Jacob Comics. Where are we here? The character that started my journey in comics and remains my favorite character to this day is Spider-Man 2099. I'm humbled by the talented Rick Leonardi. These books mean a lot to me personally. I'm grateful to have added them to my collection. The beautiful remarks went above and beyond. My hats off. Brought a tear to this old man's eye. Good stuff, Jacob. Good stuff indeed. Joe, why don't we have you go?
Yeah, sure.
What's your first fresh get of the week?
All right, I'm going to go with the weirdest one first.
I can't wait.
This is funny. This kind of started off as kind of a joke, but also like serious. Goodbye Comics, who is in the chat. Awesome dude, Evan, who's from, I don't actually know if he's from New York or New Jersey, but he's from somewhere on the, in the East Coast. And Evan, if you're still in the chat, let us know where you're from. Does a lot of conventions around this area and stuff like that. And is very active on the social media in comic book community. So give him a follow on Instagram and whatnot and all that. Evan did some, I forget if it was like restoration or just cleaning and pressing of a Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man #1, a book, absolute grail of mine. I want to own one day. I do not own one yet. And while he was doing this cleaning, pressing, restoration, whatever it was, okay, he's from Jersey. There we go. Some just like any brittle book, any older book that's, in lower grade, some pieces fall off, little flakes of the book and stuff like that. He actually removed some staples. I believe these were aftermarket staples that he removed in order to, take those out. And he actually bagged them up. And so he posted this on Instagram, this little baggie of quite literally flakes of a comic book. And I commented on it, claim. And something like that. I commented like, I'll give you $20 for that or whatever. And you know, I was like, I'm serious. I told him, I said, I want those. Like, I don't own an ASM one. This is the closest I'm going to get for the time being. So he shows up to King Kon, not only with the fragments of paper and extra staples for Amazing Spider-Man 1 1963, but also with a certificate of authenticity from
Oh my
Goodbye
God.
Comics and Collectibles, stating that that is what this is. And that is what I've got right here. And the best part about it was, it says, "Where's my money?" on it, but he didn't charge me a dime. I tried to pay him $20 for these because that is what I offered him. He gave them to me for free. So for the time being, this is my placeholder in my collection. This is my Amazing Spider-Man #1.
That is well done, by the way. The weirdest submission ever. Congratulations. That is,
Comic Toby just asked if that's Evan Shim. It's not Evan Shim, but another one of these books that I got was from Evan Shim that we're going to get to later.
stay tuned, everybody. And if you haven't hit the like button or subscribed, you may as well. You should, right? You don't disagree with that comment, do you, Joe?
I think you should hit the like button and definitely should also subscribe, because currently I see 34 people in the room and only 24 likes. And that makes me, honestly, what do you think about that, Solomon? Solomon's upset.
It just does not make any sense whatsoever. But hey, what are you going to do about it? All right, moving on. Oh, I messed up here, but let's just go. We did Jacob. Yeah, I messed. I don't know. Mike is in the chat. He's going to be angry. I did not put down what he said.
Hold on, let me pull it up on my phone.
Oh, go for it. Why don't you read it off? Because you have a wonderful voice, by the way.
I will. Yeah, I have a very. Someone, guess what? Another vendor was live streaming trying to sell some books. And someone in their chat said, "I hear 360 Comics." That's how distinct my voice is.
Oh, wow. You do have a face for radio. I mean, a voice for radio. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Something. I just opened up Key Collector accidentally. That's how tired I am. I'm looking for Pope of Chili Town, and I opened Key Collector. And the guy's a gem, but he ain't a key. That's for sure. All right, so Pope of Chili Town, what did he say? Let me sing until I get there. Okay, here we go. Here's something a bit cool that I both knew about and didn't know about. Not sure what that means, but okay, let's see what Mike has to say. X-Men number 148, first appearance of Caliban, key issue, Marvel Comics comp copy. That is what this is, as you can see by the stamp up there. I knew that Marvel gives comp books to their employees. I didn't know they came stamped. You can see across the trade dress, it says complimentary copy, not to be sold. Cool little oddball piece of history. Was this owned by Dave Cockrum, Chris Claremont, Stan Lee, or Stinky Jimbo, the incontinent janitor? Alas, we may never know.
We may never know, but you know what I do know? That's a unique book. That's what falls under unique right there.
I just like he said, I knew and didn't know. I knew that they gave out books. I didn't know that they stamped them. They probably don't anymore. But yeah, that's really cool that comp was stamped.
Absolutely. Again, well done, Mike, aka Pope of Chili Town. Moving on, we got C to the G. By the way, thanks for picking up my slack.
I try.
I appreciate that. That happens quite often on these shows. Moving on, we got C to the G. If it's not Star Wars books, it's going to be some X-Men and vice versa. Crossed off 8 books of my impossibly possible Grail run for Uncanny X-Men 94 to 300. These books need no introduction, but I closed off some storylines, members joining the team, and some key first appearances. I still have roughly around 70 books to go. The hunt continues. That is a nice Grail run to have. I like how he composed this picture. The books are, it's tough to pick a semifinalist with a bunch of books like this. I like the X through there. That's actually really well done.
I was gonna say the composition on this picture is cool.
Raising Elm noticed that too, who's kind of masterful in doing the art himself, or composing a shot himself. But that faint X is everything right there. It's really, really cool. All right, moving on. Who do we have next? Tell me, who do we have next? You don't know. You're not looking at the sheet here. We got shit. Oh, I did have Pope of Chili Town there. Anyways, we got Son of Comics. Spider-Man 2 local comic shop variant. This is a great Miles Morales cover. It just gives me old school hip hop vibes. I love that too. I really loved it. I love the Miles. They're really stepping it up with a lot of the Miles covers. Outstanding, distinguishing him from obviously the other Spider-Man. But I enjoy a good Miles cover like everybody else here. All right, my turn, I guess. My first fresh get of the week. What am I going to do? I'm going to do this one. Joe knows all of these books, actually, because I got them all there. I had no intention of getting any books, people. But there was that one table that was half off sale. What was it? What was it, Joe?
Bad Fish Comics. And he was sharing it with someone. I just don't remember who he was sharing.
Yeah, they're not good at marketing, by the way. I didn't know if they had any cards or anything, but there's really cool guys with some really good books. Joe was impressed with this, as was I finding it. But I got this for $3, so it was $1.50. This is Silver Surfer number 75. Talk about embossed. Look at how just gorgeous that is.
Yeah, look at those abs.
Oh, yeah, right there. But also a newsstand, right? That's what Joe was most impressed with because he never saw a newsstand in this. I've never seen a newsstand.
I literally don't think I've ever seen a newsstand in this book. When was it, 92?
This book, I want to say 93. 92. You're right. Okay.
92. So, newsstands at that point were 15% or less of the current run. So,
I mean, this Ron Lim I freaking love Ron Lim. John Byrne's my favorite, but Ron Lim he's up there. So it just really pops. It kind of pops actually on camera, which I was surprised. But when in person, it's like, wow, that was beautiful. I pulled that out. I was like, just for the cover alone. But then I was like, oh shit, it's a newsstand. So why not, right? Yeah. So that's my first fresh get of the week. Moving on to all of these other fresh gets here. We got, I'm a mess, guys. I am a damn mess. We got Raising Elm. We got, again, so well done. Do you all ever wonder, get it? You all ever wonder when your books will come back from CGC? This week, my copy of Avengers issue 9 finally came back home in a beautiful CGC slab, graded at a 6.5 with off-white pages. I sent out this first appearance to Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, to be graded back in early October of last year. That's actually not that bad. I picked up this copy back when the rumor mill was saying that Nathan Fillion was going to reprise his role as Wonder Man from the deleted cameo scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Unfortunately, he won't be bringing his nerdy talent to the role, but at least he got to voice the character on the MODOK Hulu series. However, I'm excited to see what Yahya Abdul-Mateen II does to bring the character to life in the announced Disney Plus show. Next week's submission, hint, which Avenger helped Simon start his acting career? Stay fresh, comic fam. I don't think he did that. But anyways, I do like that book. And
yeah, I just want to give that book a props. Like a 6.5 on that book.
Yeah.
That book is, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that book is from 1965. So a 6.5 on a book from 65, that's awesome. That's
well done. And again, we're only going to be seeing more of Simon Williams, not less, in the comic books and on screen. So that's something to be excited about. Arana Escarlata. Okay? When I said unique is one of the criteria that we look for. This is one of those things. Look at how gorgeous that cover is right there. Nightwing, commissioned by Jim Lee on pencils and Scott Williams on inks. Absolutely loved Lee's Hush Nightwing. So easy choice. Like, again, this is a commission.
Wow.
The only one in the world. That's unique. That's unique.
Especially, Jim Lee does not do a lot of this.
Nope.
And Jim Lee with Scott Williamson, that's his inker. That's who inked X-Men run from the early 90s. That's who inked the Hush run when he went over to DC. This is freaking cool.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, first of all, look at that print. Look at what that is, just gorgeous, right? On top of what you just said, Jim Lee doesn't do this, and he brought Scott Williams. I don't know how you got this, but it's outstanding. I love this. I love this submission. Absolutely love it. So if that gives you any hints. Moving on, we got Mark Leneker. Actually, no, we got Joe. What's your second fresh get of the week? I'm sorry.
Okay, so we talked about Evan from Goodbye Comics and what I got from him, and Comic Toby shouted out Evan Shim, who's another East Coast dealer over here. I think he is also from New Jersey, if I remember. I think South Jersey, though. I did a trade with him today. he came up to me and said, "Hey, I know you do some stuff with Golden Age books. I'm into these Golden Age books. I can't really move them. Not my clientele. Not my area of expertise. You want to do a trade?" I said, "Yeah. Let's talk about a value." We discussed a little bit. We both thought about it. He looked at the books that I had. I made him a cash offer, but he said, "You know what? I just really want to trade. I want stuff to sell. I want stuff for my wall." And I said, "Okay, cool." I will post the whole trade later on Instagram, but one of the books I got from it was really, really cool. So I want to show that off and give a shout out to Evan for a really cool trade here. This is World's Finest Comics, number 20.
Ooh, goodness, man.
Early double digits, World's Finest Comics. This book is from 1945. And look at the condition of this book. Like,
Oh, that is beautiful, man.
that spine.
Holy cow.
It's a square bound book. It's it's
What year did you say? Is that 45?
1945. We're talking World War II era, which I was going to say it can be noted by single staple, but there's no staples on a square bound book here, so you can't see them. But nonetheless, this book is World War II era. It's it would be a 10 center if it wasn't this thick of a book. So they had these for 15 cents, the World's Finest ones, because they had Superman and Batman. This book looks amazing. I totally agree, Tom. There is a little tear right here, a little piece missing from that front cover, but like presents absolutely fire. Yeah, this is so cool. I'm very happy to have this. I'll tell you, the big part of the trade that I gave up was a Hulk 180. So, you gotta give good books to get good books. Very happy with the trade. Like I said, I'll post it later this week on Instagram, what he traded me and what I got, and you guys can decide for yourself. Who got the deal.
Fat shaming Robin too.
Yeah, fat shaming Robin for being 190 pounds, which
Mike,
I weigh more than. So
Mike got it too. I collect youth body shaming covers. Mike, honestly, man, your gift that keeps on giving, man.
I have another one. I have one. I think it's Betty and Veronica, where she's on a scale. This is a terrible cover. It would never happen nowadays. A teenage girl in either a two-piece bathing suit or just her underwear on a scale, like shocked at the number, and all around her are like ice cream, cookies, sundae. Like it is just like, oh God, how did they get away with?
Yeah, that's a different. It's a different time.
It is an interesting one.
It is a different time. All right, moving on though. Mark Lineker. Everybody loves Hulk 181, but not everybody can get one. I do have, however, the 2001 Wizard Ace reprint featuring an uncontroversial, hopefully, acetate cover by Sean Chen. It's a cool cover, but not the best to photograph due to the glare. This book was part of a series of mail-away reprints of classic keys and issues 1/2 started by Wizard in the late 90s. You gotta love the 90s. That's a fantastic looking cover. And it is acetate. We all know about, well, most of us know about the the controversy there. So Mark, you're good, man. You didn't start any controversy as well. All right. I'm just gonna do my second fresh get of the week. This one right here, Alex, collecting dude, really kind of notified me and be like, yo, that's a cool pickup. This is the Mighty Thor 351. You got the Williamson run, but it's one of those, I don't know which toy. I got to look it up on cover price, but
probably Marvel Legends.
That's what
most of those ones that have like the black border around them.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that little black border. And then not for resale. Most of those are Marvel Legends. I can't confirm that one is. I'm not a toy guy, but
as you can see, it's hard to find these in good condition.
Wow,
I don't know if that's nice right there. Yeah, so
I mean that's got to be in the high 9s for sure.
Yeah, so I was very happy to find that, especially what Alex was saying. And
it says Marvel Legends on the back cover. Can you confirm?
Yeah. Got it for $2.50 as well. So
wait, stop the show. Tony Trombetta's in the house.
Oh, what? What?
He is.
Where is he? Oh, he says hello, everyone. Guess what, Tony? We're talking about EGS and how everybody should submit and follow you on Instagram and on on the YouTubes and on the Instagram. I did say the Instagram, the YouTubes, and that EGS is up and coming. By the way, Tony's a member of this community, launching this small business. Been doing it for 5 years, 4,000 books graded, probably more than 4,000. You can correct me, Tony. I'm very happy with my slabs that I got from him. We're gonna wait for Joe's review, but I know the spoiler. It's probably happy as well. So yeah. Anyways, just a reminder for everybody about that stuff. Moving on. Okay, this is our last submission for the month of March right here, people. It's Josh's Comics. Where are you, buddy? There you are. There we go. Daredevil, issue 90, issue 91, issue 9, first appearance of Echo. I'm extremely happy to add another Daredevil key to the PC. This is new mint and definitely going to CGC. Once again, thank you to 360 Comics. He's one of the best sellers in the community. He told me to say it like that.
I appreciate that.
That's very, very nice, actually, by the way.
I got lucky. I found if you didn't see my Instagram post, a collection that I got recently had 3 of those.
Yo, that 90s collection?
Someone was specking.
Or no, not 90s. It was early 2000s. Yeah.
It wasn't that one. It actually was.
Wasn't that? Okay. Anyways, we can talk about that later.
42 long box collection.
Jesus. Anyways, right now, we're not done with Fresh from the Comic Shop because we have last week's submissions. This is the week before because Joe couldn't make it because he was dressed in a fancy suit. I'm not hating on you. I'm not faulting you. So right now, Joe, we have to decide for a semifinalist, the last semifinalist of March. Figure out the second finalist and have them go head to head. March Madness. What do we got? So I have 2 that really stick out for me.
Confirm with you. We are cutting those submissions. Are we showing the books? The rest of the books?
Yes, we're gonna show the books that would have been just for this week after we come to a decision.
Okay.
Because we have to come to a decision for that as well.
Show today. Yeah. Good thing we didn't have a guest.
I know it's a long show.
It's okay. Hey,
we're almost there.
I'm running on caffeine right now. We're good.
You look fantastic though.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I have one clear-cut winner.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I jotted down 3 that I really, really liked.
Okay, go for it.
Super Crispy was the first one that I jotted down. Talked about how he's getting his dad into comics and alluded to his dad being a dirty old man, maybe a little bit. Yeah, not only that, like, does it have that personal connection to it and stuff, but I really like this shot. I like how the background is black and white, but the comic is in color. Very, very cool little aftermarket touch to this photo. And I love this book. And this definitely, like you said, it looks like it pops. It pops in this picture, which is awesome. Okay. I also really like Jacob Comics with his Spidey 2099 pictures or books rather. Where's that? There we go. I love that there's multiple of the same books. I love that the figure is there as well. And yeah, I love this character as well. Definitely was a fan during the 90s during this time when this run was coming out. And then the third one for me would be C to the G with the we already spoke about it, the X. How that looks just very, very cool. Another little aftermarket touch to that picture if you can ever find it. There we go. Oh my god, can't find good help these days with this.
I'm terrible. I am the worst.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought all those were cool. You said you had one person that was a firm winner. Was it one of those 3?
It was not, Joe. We're gonna have a problem here.
Wow. Okay.
I do. I see. I have a list of 3. C to the G is on that list. I'm sorry, C to the G. It's the bottom of the list. I have a trouble advancing you to the semifinals with a bunch of books like that. Also, I really, really liked what the Pope sent in.
Yeah, definitely a cool one.
Where is he? I'm having. Oh, here we go. That's unique. It's unique for sure. We haven't seen one of those before. The comp issues.
Very unique, yes.
But I'm telling you, man. For me, the one that I would like to see move forward is Arana Escarlata with this Jim Lee, Scott Williams. Why did I
write this one down?
Huh?
Okay. I didn't write this one down. I I think I was just so mesmerized by this freaking cover
Yeah.
that I forgot to write it down. You are, this is the one you're picking, right?
This is the one I would like to see
Okay.
move forward.
I am hopping on board with you. I legitimately would have written this one down had I not been so like it was just jaw dropping that I
It
think
really
I forgot
is.
to write it down.
I'm-
Yeah, this one's amazing. Love
I'm
it.
really impressed by this and greatly appreciate the submission. So, Rana Escarlata, you are the last semifinalist of March. You'll be going up again in the semifinals. We have to rewind and see who that is. I cannot remember. And then you'll have the finals a day or two after that. That's coming up this week. But right now, we continue with Fresh from the Comic Shop. We have our April submissions, the first week of April. So we have to have a semifinals for that. So Arana, you won last week of March. This is completely separate. We're starting April right now, and Tony was going to send over what the book is for April probably next week. But let's just get right into it, shall we? Actually, before we do that, let's go with your third fresh get of the week. Let's do that.
Oh, mine. Okay. So man, I run good. Ask Popa Chili Town. I get extremely lucky. I put in a lot of hard work to find these collections and stuff like that. But I've also been like gifted 2 awesome collections in the last year. And I've also just been really lucky with I entered a couple of Greg, who runs King Kon. I entered 2 of his I entered 3 of his raffles, but I won 2 of them. And one of them was I had like a 1 in 10 chance. So it wasn't like I had a high chance on it. Well, King Kon, if you bought a King Kon shirt, you actually got to pull a ticket, and your ticket was linked to a giveaway item. And my giveaway item just happened to be the J. Lee variant, Virgin variant of Something is Killing the Children #1.
Wow.
First print. This is not like a reprint, or this is just a variant cover, Virgin variant cover of Something is Killing the Children #1. So I spent $20 on a King Kon t-shirt, and I got this book that probably retails even raw at $100. So
that's freaking outstanding.
Talk about a come up. I run so good. Popa Chili Town's so mad right now.
Yeah, he is.
In the words of Popa Chili Town,
shut up, Joe.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Tony has confirmed we are going to have the next EGS April slab. We'll have the April slab next week. We're gonna reveal that. So excited about that. He says it's gonna be fire. Oh yeah. No, we said that, Tony. We mentioned again. Let's remind everybody here. Yeah. Tony came up with an amazing addition to Fresh from the Comic Shop. I guess we breezed over it. But everybody who wins in all of the months of 2023, you're going to automatically be submitted to win the grand prize book of Fresh from the Comic Shop from the year 2023. There will be a bracket system of 12 submissions. It's going to be awesome. We will decide on that book by summertime, I would say. Let's make a goal of this summer. We'll decide on that. Then we could truly promote it. But it's even more incentive for you guys to step up your game and your submissions. 3 criteria. Give us a well-composed shot. Something that's artistic that relates to the book. Have fun with it. Give us something that's unique. Arana Escarlata. Again, nobody else in the world owns that book. Nobody. And well, shit. Why don't we just bring it up to remind people? Nobody owns this book. It's a commission from Jim Lee and Scott Williams. Outstanding. And finally, give us a warm, heartwarming story. Tug at our heartstrings. Step it up, people, because you could win again from the year 2023, courtesy of EGS, the best grading service out there. All right, moving on. What do we got? It's Comic Demon time. Comic Demon time. Here we go. Sorry, I'm a little disheveled, guys. Little disheveled. Where is it? Where did you put it again? Did I not put the?
I did not do it. I've been busy.
Yeah, you have. Where is Comic Demon? Oh my gosh. Well, I'll have to get back to you, Comic Demon. Not sure what happened.
Exercised.
But we got Into Oblivion with this beautiful cover here. Into Oblivion, The last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. Number 1, first appearance of the next generation of Ninja Turtles, Uden, Uno, Moha, and Yi. Beautiful cover B variant by original creator Kevin Eastman. The wraparound cover also depicts the first appearance of the new Young Turtles on the back. It is a gorgeous cover. I have that too. I think I have that. Mine's blue though. Maybe I got the wrong. I don't know. That's doesn't count as my third fresh get. This was last week.
It doesn't.
Oh, and it's not 9.8 anymore. Moving on here. We got who do we have? Raw Dog Comics. This is so abstract. It's so abstract. It's time to watch The Mandalorian. This is the way. By the way, it's time to watch The Mandalorian. This is the way. Mandalorian number 4, the Peach Momoko variant with Grogu is fresh from the comic shop. I already had Mandalorian 2 second print in the collection with Grogu on the cover. It's amazing to see how far the Star Wars universe has come since I was a kid. I'm having as much fun now as I did then. It's not a giant leap, though, because I'm young at heart and still collect comic books in my 50s. This season of The Mandalorian has been amazing, and if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly suggest watching all the Star Wars content on Disney+. And of course, watching comic book canon. Thank you for the props there. With Fresh from the Comic Shop, we have one of the best comic book communities on Instagram, and I am truly having the time of my life. Thank you guys for doing what you do. And remember to collect what you love. P.S. If you could spot Miss Minutes in this photo, kudos. God! Yo!
Wait.
Raw Dog. I can't stop looking at it, and we just don't have time to keep looking at it.
That's so cool. Also, to answer your question, Chris, Supreme Love asked, how do you submit? All you have to do is post a picture of a fresh get, something you got in the last week, and you just use the hashtag FFTCS. Fresh from the Comic Shop, FFTCS, and also tag me. Tag Comic Book Canon so we make sure
tag us on the picture so we make sure we get it. By the way, people, look who's here. Moonlit Comics making a grand return. How are you doing? Good to see you. Joe told us. Wait, did you tell? Was it in rehearsal or was it during the show that you said you saw her? It may have been us talking about it.
We talked about it before the show, and I mentioned her at the beginning of this when we were talking about people we saw King Kon.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So again, so happy to see you. So happy to hear you're doing well. Let's all stay in touch. Yes, I know. I was there for a few hours, but we'd love to have you on as a guest on the show. But yeah, absolutely. Good to see you. Everybody's excited. Look, I bet you Dan De La Torre is as well. All right. Gosh, now I'm all kerfluffled. We had Raw Dog. Raw Dog, you crushed it right there. I'm just saying that right now. Next up, we got Bad News Bond, a.k.a. Bond. Paul Bond. That's right. Attended King Kon today in New Jersey and did some selling, bartering, and trading. Ultimately came home with these 3 books. When the Dust Settled, Tales from the Crypt, and Planet Comics will go in the PC. And The Amazing Spider-Man will be used for future trade-ups or sold for a PC book. He did well. I was talking to him for a while. He did very well.
Yo, I looked at that ASM. That thing is sharp.
Oh, it is? I thought it wasn't that sharp. I thought you guys had some issues with it. I remember.
I mean, it probably wouldn't get a 9.8, but it's up there. It's up there.
All right. Yeah,
it looks beautiful.
He did well. He was very happy with what he had going on there too. So well done, Paul. And we talked about Planet Comics earlier. So again, it was props all around there. Here we go. I'm going to do my 3rd fresh get of the week. I have an honorable mention, Joe. But I'm gonna go with this. Again, that same table, half off. It's the Man Thing number 1. It's the 2nd series.
Yes.
I got it for $2.50.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a good buy.
The newsstand doesn't really matter. This is probably from the 70s, I would say.
Early 80s, I think. Or maybe 79.
It's 79. Yeah, it is 79. But I mean, look at that.
Yeah. Wow.
So very happy to get that I was like, is somebody playing a joke on me here too? But I also want to do this, man. Props to you. Selling me this book right here.
Oh, yeah.
First appearance of Batman Beyond in a comic, DC continuity kind of a thing. So that's honorable mention right there. Thank you so much. I had to help support you because I know you're trying to pay the mortgage. He takes Venmo, please. Everybody, he needs to pay the mortgage. It's very important. No, honestly, you are one of the best people out there selling books. You're not on this show to sell books. You're on the show to talk books, and it's fun doing it. So, but it's also good to know that you're one of the great people out there. By the way, Mark, you always have at least one zinger a show. Who doesn't like Jeff's man thing? Well done, man.
Woo!
Well done. All right. Here we go. The last few here. Again, guys, in terms of a well-composed shot, getting creative, Raising Elm, follow Raising Elm on Instagram. Justin does a fantastic job with these. And this one, I don't know, man. It's maybe tied for best. I just love what he did here. Here we go, Raising Elm. Howdy, comic fam. Before Thor, Love and Thunder came to theaters last year, I managed to grab this sweet copy of Journey into Mystery, annual #1 for $188. It's even fresher now that it was just returned from CGC with a grade of 4.5 with off-white pages. Super stoked to have this first appearance of Zeus and Hercules in the PC. With this week's submission, I felt the need that I needed to recreate the cover art from the incredible Hercules #126. Here's for reference, everybody, right there.
Oh, so cool.
Not only because it's an awesome cover, but as guys, this is important, but as a message to all the dear friends I've made in this community. You see, over the past few months, I have spoken with most of you that have fallen on hard times, either financially, with relationships, or health. Some of y'all may not know that I had a battle with cancer about a decade ago. Wow. In life, we will face these trials, but like the mighty Hercules, we must find the strength to break those chains. There is freedom beyond the things that hold us down. Much love, comic fan. Guys, that is an important message right there. And it's not him he's not saying it to say it. This is a dude that's very genuine, sincere, and an example of something to pull at our heartstrings, but he cares. Everybody, I would say 99% of everybody, y'all care about each other. You all want to lift each other up. And we are so grateful to be part of this community, to be interacting with you all. Like seeing you guys at the show this past weekend just kind of reinforces that whole thing. Absolutely incredible, Justin. That's really well done. On top of the fact that it's just visually stunning. Like, come on, right? When I saw that, it just blew my mind. So, yeah. Anyways, and next up, finally, this is a first. This is a first for Fresh from the Comic Shop right here. This is courtesy of Alex, aka the Collecting Dude. This is a first because I made it my first appearance in a Fresh from the Comic Shop. This is not a cameo.
Oh, right.
First appearance in a Fresh from the Comic Shop. Happy to get this awesome Marvel Legends X-Men Volume 2 #3 reprint, reprinting the Beast. A definite shout out to the guy who found this book for me at King Kon 4. He looked familiar and I couldn't just place him. Happy to submit this for Fresh from the Comic Shop. After Alex saw that Thor book that I had, he says that he's looking to collect these. So we went back to that place and started digging for books, and I found that for him, and he was all in on that. So he was happy. I was happy to make him happy, and there you go. So
look at the beautiful setup behind you too. Wow. That's
God, that seller was rude. He smelled horribly, and his prices were just outrageous.
Oh my God.
It was you. No, okay, so we have to have a semifinalist for April now. There are some really good ones here too.
Is there anyone that's not eligible?
Raising Elm, Justin. Justin, have you won in the past year or 6 months? I mean, 6 months. Let us know.
I was gonna say we should only do this year since for the prize for the.
You're right. You're right. You're right. If you have not won this year, Justin has not won this year.
February.
Justin has not won this year.
Okay.
He did, but he gave it away, so it counts. So okay, so here's the deal. I'm having a hard time. I have two that stick out to me.
I do as well. They're probably the same two. They're probably Raising Elm, with that really great message, the awesome chains behind
Yes,
the Thor
that's on my
ball,
list. Yep.
and Raw Dog Comics. That trippy one. Yeah.
No, we got problems, man.
Is
both
it
of
those
those.
two for you too?
Yep.
Man,
We got problems.
that's so tough.
I'm good. I have a reason. One of those gets an edge, but I'm not sure if it pushes it over. Is Dan?
I was about to say, do we have Dan?
Bring Dan in?
Can we bring him in?
Dan De La Torre, are you still on? Because
we need you.
Yeah, Dan, are you available?
Yeah, he's here.
All right, let's see.
Send him that link.
Dan, I'm going to DM this to you in the Instagram. Yes, the Instagram. I said it. I said what I said. Here we go. By the way, that's an Easter egg for somebody I care about. Right there. Okay. Here we go. Hold on. Joe, tell a story, man. I don't like dead air.
It's time for DDLT. Dan De La Tiebreaker.
Dan De La Tiebreaker! I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Okay.
Coming to save the day.
All right, here we go. You okay? Man, you just stretch your vocal. Yo, we have a show next week. Don't stretch your vocal cords. We have an Ask Joe segment as well.
Need some water.
Ask Joe. All right, now that we were waiting for Dan De La Tiebreaker, he's on the way. Yes, he is. Just everybody, tell us what you're eating right now. Quick, go.
Nothing.
Okay, yes. Hashtag DDLT. That's got to be something like sexual, I'm sure, that we would not want to hashtag.
Yeah, I don't.
Be careful, everybody.
Off of the chat. This is our new submission. DDLT.
Nuke wants to do a chat vote. That can get messy, especially with how the algorithms work on the StreamYard. So yeah. Gooders Burgers got some macadamia cookies. Are they homemade?
Egg pie. What the heck is
Woo! Justin lives in Texas. I guarantee you it's good. It's got to be some good shit. T-Shoe, wife made some awesome ham soup.
Ham soup?
I know you have ham and split pea.
Hold on a second. People are just making things. Egg pie, ham soup. They're just taking two foods and putting them together. I got guacamole salad.
Yo, Tony Trombetta bringing up a very good point. How about the Miami men's basketball first Final Four? There's a lot. I think 3 out of the 4 teams have not made it to the Final Four. So that is insane. So congratulations, Tony. I guess I know you live in Florida. I'm not sure if you root for Miami. I guess you may as well. But just let y'all know. Oh,
shrimp muffins.
No, he's lying.
He's definitely
By the
lying.
way, egg pie is a custard pie, so just call it a custard pie.
I know he's lying because shrimp muffins aren't kosher.
The macadamia nut cookies were store-bought. Alex is eating shrimp muffins, he says. Raw Dog Comics has got some pizza. What about Raw Dog lives in St. Louis, so I believe that, what is it, fried or toasted ravioli or something like that? It was interesting.
I love toasted ravioli.
A supreme love. I must ask an important food question. Chili, beans or no beans? You
beans.
have to have
beans.
All
the beans.
What the hell, dude? What kind of question is that?
All of them. Every bean. Where's Dan?
I don't know. Dan is playing with our emotions because we're losing people by the minute.
Is this the longest comic book count? We're over 2 hours.
No, it's definitely not. We've had 3 hours. Yeah, we've had 3 hours.
Oh, okay. This is before my time.
Yeah. By the way, that was an exciting game, Tony, because I do believe they're down by 13. So, by the way, Tony's a Dallas Cowboys fan. That's the one mark against him. Here we go, everybody. Do an introduction, Joe. Dan De La Tiebreaker.
From the depths of a place where no one knows, here comes the tiebreaker of all tiebreakers, Dan De La Torre!
Woo!
All right. I am literally coming out.
No. I
we
cut
go.
you off. That was me.
He's back.
Okay.
I kicked him off. It counts. It counts. It
Okay.
counts.
Literally coming out from the bullpen because I just did fantasy baseball with my youngest daughter, Danielle. She killed it. She's my little ace in the hole. You're supposed to go in the showers after the game. I'm just coming out of the shower now, so I had to get dressed because if I didn't, the show would be banned. This would be the last episode.
Yeah.
Trust me, that would be very, very bad. What are we doing
I
here?
also feel like this is too much information.
It is too much information. Yeah.
I like it, though. I like it. All right, so
What we got?
the tiebreaker is here. The Dan De La tiebreaker is here. He holds a lot of weight. He's like the Supreme Court, even though he is our fifth Beatle too. By the way,
Where's my gavel? I do have a gavel. I'll get it later.
all right. So Dan, may we present to you the two nominees?
Please do. Oh, by the way, just to reassure that I do have legal standing. This is my other persona on the hunt, and I did not pose for this, by the way. This is going to be my new persona. This is going to be my brother Thomas R. Shyster. So
That's amazing. What?
Oh my god, I love it. We need to have more Dan De La Torre. Okay, so here may we present to you the two that Joe and I absolutely vehemently agree on. We're going to read the submissions as well because both of them are probably they tug at our heartstrings. Both of them. First, we're going to do Raw Dog Comics here. Let me scroll down here. Where are you, Raw Dog? Where did I put you? Oh, Jesus, this is a damn mess. Sorry, people. If this is the first time you've seen our show, we are a damn mess.
Control F.
we're totally rehearsed on this show.
Oh, yeah,
Control F.
I could do Control F. You're right. Let's just do Control F. Been telling you about that for a long time. Okay, here we go. It's time to watch The Mandalorian. This is the way. Mandalorian 4, the Peeps Momoko variant with Grogu, fresh from the comic shop. I already had Mandalorian 2, second print in the collection with Grogu on the cover. It's amazing to see how far the Star Wars universe has come since I was a kid. I'm having as much fun now as I did then. It's not a giant leap though, because I'm young at heart and still collect comic books in my 50s. This season of The Mandalorian has been amazing, and if you're a Star Wars fan, I highly suggest watching all the Star Wars content on Disney Plus, and of course, watching Comic Book Canon. With Fresh from the Comic Shop, we have one of the best comic book communities on Instagram, and I am having the time of my life. Thank you guys for doing what you do, and remember to collect what you love. P.S. If you can spot the missed minutes in this photo, kudos. I can't. I'm going to have to take a closer look on the Instagram. But so that's the first one, Dan. Second one is Raising Elm Comics, and here we go. Howdy, fam. Before Thor Love and Thunder came out in theaters last year, I managed to grab this sweet copy of Journey into Mystery, annual number 1, for $188. It's even fresher now that it has just returned from CGC with a Zeus and with the first appearance of Zeus and Hercules in the PC. I'm sorry. Nope. Seriously, it just returned from CGC with a grade of 4.5 with off-white pages. Super stoked to have this first appearance of Zeus and Hercules in the PC. With this week's submission, I felt that I needed to recreate the cover art from the Incredible Hulk issue, or Incredible Hercules issue 126. Let me just bring that up right here. Not only because it's an awesome cover, but as a message to all the dear friends I've made in this community. You see, over the past few months, I've spoken with most of you that have fallen on hard times, either financially, with relationships, or health. Some of y'all may not know, but I had a battle with cancer about a decade ago. In life, we will always face these trials, but like the mighty Hercules, we must find the strength to break those chains. There's freedom beyond the things that hold us down. Much love, comic fam. So that's a tough one. How you feeling, Dan?
Well, okay. On a cursory look of this season, on the one side you got Raw Dog Comics, who almost had, because as a Star Trek fan, I have a deep love and passion as much to do for Marvel Comics as I do for Star Trek. And if I had something similar, if Star Trek has something to show, I'd be touting that as well, so I can understand where Raising Him was coming from. But Raw Dog got me not just because of the slab, but he had the chains in the background, and that other Hercules comic to back that up.
Oh, you're saying Raising Elm.
Raising Elm, yes. Raising Elm had the Hercules one. I'm going to give it to Raising Elm for the win this week.
Okay, Dan De La Torre has spoken without the gavel, but that's okay. Raising Elm, congratulations. You are moving on. It was very close, Raw Dog. Keep doing what you do. But congratulations on that. Dan, we're going to be wrapping up this show, but while we have you, we needed to make this a quick show, by the way, because Joe's had a really long weekend.
Wait, we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in.
Yeah. Dan, real quick, just tell us what's going on with you. We haven't seen your face in a little bit. Just want to say hey.
I'm just, living life, and I'm juggling a bunch of things. Hey, can I comment on one thing though? Because it's been bugging me. I've been wanting to come on the show, and it's my disagreement with DC and James Gunn and Zaslav.
Oh, here we go. You
Okay.
definitely made that known. Yep.
Right. Now, here's my rationale for it. What I was looking for was what we have been looking for from Marvel, starting with Iron Man 1 in 2008. That launched the whole thing. It was a brilliant movie, and then led all the way to Avengers Endgame. That was about a 10-year run. Now, with DC, they've been sort of mixing and matching, going back and forth with whatever. They finally landed it with this Black Adam movie. And you say what you will about Dwayne Johnson. Yes, he's got an ego, but damn, he nailed that particular role. That was the perfect person for that particular role. And when you saw Henry Cavill make the cameo at the end, I thought, wow, finally, this is what I've been waiting for. This expansion of what they had. They still have a good cast here, even though they have trouble writing. Never mind about the cast, it's the writing and the storyline has been full. No, that they rushed Justice League. And I thought this would be the launching point for what might be the DCU. The problem that DCU has had is money problems. Zaslav, who's the CEO, the money guy, and he's trying to do everything on the cheap. They're so broke they don't even have the money to promote their own movies. So they're mixing, matching, getting rid of the very expensive actors and actresses and replacing them with what they can afford right now. That's basically their biggest problem. Gunn has had success, no question about it, but he's not a mainstay because even though Guardians is probably the closest thing he's had, that's probably the least favorite of my MCU movies because Gunn has a different flavor to him. He's not a bad director, but I think that he's not the Kevin Feige that we're looking for. And sadly, he's the one who said we need to get rid of Cavill. And we're not going to have a Superman or Cavill and Dwayne Johnson Black Adam movie. That's a horrible mistake. Once that decision was made, I thought, you know what, this is not for me. I'm not wishing them ill will. I think they'll be entertaining movies, but I don't think it's going to be the MCU we fell in love with from Iron Man 1 all the way to Avengers Endgame, unless they can get an influx of cash and do this the right way. Because Stan Lee did this right back in the early 60s. He was broke. I mean, that company almost went under thanks to what happened in the 50s. But they stuck to their guns. They stuck to great storyline, great content, great characters, and they finally won us over. It took quite a while, but an effort. And still, that's a winning strategy. DC needs to learn from this example and stay with what they know. Look for what is winning. Right now, they're so desperate. They're looking at numbers. The Black Adam movie didn't make that much money, but it still made money. But again, it's the direction we're looking for, the direction I'm looking for. They had it, and I think they're making a terrible mistake by wiping this likely trying to go on a cheap route.
Okay, well said. Your internet is failing you, but we definitely got the message there.
I wasn't sure if that was just me
no,
or not.
I know exactly what he said. So we'll end it right there. We'll talk more next week.
Okay.
But I want to thank you, Dan, for coming on last minute like you did, and we can count on you to be the Dan.
Thank you. I'm not really plugged in. I'm just going on the battery of my iPad, so that's why I have bad internet.
Whatever it is, it's garbage. But you're not. We appreciate you big time for jumping on last minute and making a difference. Joe, thank you for hanging in there for the hectic weekend that you've had.
I'm going to fall asleep in 18 seconds.
Yeah, really appreciate that. But we have the second part of the show to do. I'm just kidding. We appreciate all you fine people. We love you so much. Again, you're the reason why we just make the show happen and just have a hangout on Sundays. So we'll be back at it next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Again, we'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific on a Sunday. With that, be good to yourself, be good to others. Hey.